ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's been a while since I've done one of these screaming intros where I scream all about the screaminess. And I feel like we need some enthusiasm this week, Michael, because we've kind of got the Thanksgiving leftovers, the reheated Thanksgiving leftovers podcast.
Are they the good leftovers at least?
No, I mean, it was all like turkey and dressing last week. It's good stuff. It's just, it's like the second time in a row, news-wise, as it was. So,
okay.
Yeah, welcome back, everybody, to the Rage Select Podcast here in Rage Select. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mike.
Michael, how was your Thanksgiving? Was it good?
It was pretty good, actually.
Did you some turkeys and dressings and gravies and mashed potatoes and such?
Yeah, I went to my brother's. He's been basically the cook of the family. So he's been pretty much every event now is just at his house because he's just like, come, because I like to cook everything.
All right.
And so, yeah, he had a bunch of turkey. I ate a shit ton of turkey. I didn't get to take any with me, though.
Oh.
Because he had neighbors over. And I was like, I don't want to meet people, so I left, kind of thing.
Right.
And so I didn't have time to, like, pack what was left. Because he was like, well, it's like, we want to make sure there's enough for the neighbors who are coming over. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm going to go.
Man, I got away with like so much stuffing. I had to like throw some of it away because I'm just like, after I made my third Thanksgiving dinner in a row, I still had like a cup of stuffing left. And I was like, I don't have any turkey or anything else left. I just have like, and I could just stand over the sink like a homeless man and stuff cold stuffing into my mouth because I fucking love stuffing so much. I don't know why we don't use it more. Like, where's the KFC double down with 2 grilled stuffing patties and then a piece of fried turkey in between? Oh my God, my mouth is watering. Hold on.
I think you've just invented their new Thanksgiving thing.
Oh my God.
Thanksgiving special.
Yeah, people are like, oh, the moist maker from Friends. I'm like, nah, man. Fucking Monica didn't know what the fuck she's talking about. You got to make the bread out of stuffing. And, woo. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, but that was the day itself. That was the Thanksgiving-y part of the day itself.
Yeah.
The rest that I did that day was I watched the final season of F is for Family.
Oh yeah, that's like your favorite show,
dude.
You love that show.
I love F is for Family.
You want to marry that show?
I don't know if I would marry that show. That show's kind of insane. But it's not as depressing as BoJack Horseman is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's for people who don't know, it's F is for Family is loosely based on Bill Burr's dad.
Oh, okay.
And he's played by Bill Burr. It's just it's his life and his family and just the weird shit he gets into during the 1970s.
It kind of seems like Bob's Burgers, but like more 70s and a little bit less whimsical, but just kind of like family junk.
It really is. Like there's some episodes where it gets a little like more like over the top.
Yeah.
But it's still very grounded in what the issues he's actually dealing with, like, job issues, his family, like dealing with his family, like his marriage, that sort of thing, like in-laws. And so the final season was just him, dealing with the aftermath of his dad having shown up the last season, then dying at the end of the last season.
Oh, spoilers!
And so
spoiler alert, everybody.
It's the overarching plot is him dealing with that,
sure,
and trying to figure out like what does he do now, and like what does it mean to be a good dad, and did his dad leave him anything to make him understand how to be a good person or a good dad?
Yeah.
And then there's other stuff going on with other characters, like there's a character played by Sam Rockwell, who's usually like a coked out neighbor who used to be like
like stunt casting.
Yeah, he used to be like a part of a radio station, but like he had some issues like later down in the series. But now he has a kid, so now he has to deal with like being a dad. So he's trying to be sober and all that stuff. And like there's these little things going on throughout it, but for the most part, it's still about the main family.
I have a question: is Sam Rockwell dead in the MCU? Is Justin Hammer dead in the MCU? Did he die in Iron Man 2?
No, he last time anybody saw him was in the Hail the King short or whatever it's called.
Okay, all right.
Because he's like hanging out with Trevor.
Is he in jail?
Yeah, he's in jail with Trevor.
Okay, because Justin Hammer would be perfect for one of these MCU shows, right?
Oh, absolutely.
He's been in the movie. You could get Sam Rockwell, get him in here.
People are theorizing that he might be part of Armor Wars whenever that happens.
Oh, okay, I could see that.
That would be cool. But yeah, the last time anybody saw him was that short, and that was a long time ago.
Well, Michael, I watched a bunch of movies. And, I talked about Last Night in Soho last week. I didn't really think about this at the time, but my plan was after watching all these movies, I was going to talk about Last Night in Soho last week. And this week, I was going to talk about how much I liked the stupid Venom 2 movie.
Oh,
and I didn't plan it for you to be here specifically. Like I didn't plan for, because Michael did not like.
I did not like that.
Did not like Venom 2
at all.
I really enjoyed Let There Be Carnage. Like I thought that they solved the problem of the. Okay, so here's my whole thing. I didn't think that the first movie was like the worst movie. I thought it was not great, but it was like watchable. And like I thought that the biggest problem with the first movie was that their villain was, it was like, you know, evil corporation trying to get the symbiotes, and then like and all this stuff that was going on. Whereas this one, it was just like, here's Cletus Cassidy. He's a crazy man. He's killing people. Eddie Brock, you got to stop him. But Eddie Brock and Venom are on the outs. What are they going to do? Will they mend their fences and get back together? Will Cletus Cassidy win the day? What's going to happen? And it was just dumb and stupid, and it was fine, and I liked it. And I was just like,
it's dumb, guys. It's
I like the way that Venom and Eddie Brock are both total loser faces, and they both suck. And it's nice to see a movie that's schlocky like this. Like I don't
get
know
that. Yeah, that's the things that like these movies, because we're so deep into the MCU times.
Yeah,
that movies like this existed a lot before 2008.
Yeah.
And a little bit past 2008, up until I think 2012 when Avengers happened, then everyone stopped. Or
everything had to be like an interconnected universe.
Every studio really wanted their interconnective.
Yeah.
Even the ones that like didn't know what they were doing really wanted their interconnected thing.
Right.
Like the MonsterVerse that happened, like that got rebooted twice and still failed.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the type of movie that definitely would have came out pre Iron Man. And that's not necessarily a bad thing per se. I don't think it's necessarily the great thing either.
I would. Okay, so here's the thing. Everybody knows that Jeff's taste in movies are not to be trusted. Jeff likes a bunch of horrible shit. Don't listen to Jeff. All right, you've all heard that. You can stop typing your comment about how I don't know anything about movies. I didn't go to film school. I don't fucking know anything. I don't even watch.
People were going to defend your thing, then they'll defend my thing. Though.
I've never even seen American Werewolf in London. Okay,
really?
Like I saw Big Trouble in Little China and didn't get what all the fuss is about because I watched it when I was like 37, not when I was 8. So, but here's the thing. I told you this when we were talking about this. I went to go see the first Fantastic Four movie, the one with fucking Chris Evans in it, and Michael Chiklis, in the theater when it came out. I was not like a Fantastic Four like fan. I knew who they were, but I wasn't like I didn't have my hopes pinned on it. I came out of that. Me and my friend looked at each other and we were just like, I don't know. I thought that was okay. And I kind of feel like Venom 2: Let There Be Carnage is kind of on the same level of just like it's got a beginning, a middle, and end. I know what everybody wants. I don't have to know anything about Venom or the extended Venomiverse or whatever the fuck is going on in the comics. King Galactus Venom or whatever the fuck they're doing. Like
no,
yeah,
he's dead though.
I don't have to know any of that. It could just be like, here's this guy and he's got this super monster in him, and like Carnage is red, so I could see the two of them when they fight each other, as opposed to the gray Venom from the first movie.
You said you saw it on your TV, right?
Yeah.
Because it's on digital now, I think.
Yes.
So, yeah, I saw it in a screen. So I guess like we had this conversation where I couldn't tell what was going on.
Yeah,
but we're pretty sure it might have been the screen where I was watching it on or something.
You're watching it in IMAX? They put it in IMAX?
No, luckily no. I was at the Violet Crown of all places.
Oh, that's weird.
When they screened Carnage at the fanciest of the theater.
That's really weird.
Very strange. But no, yeah, I watched it there, and yeah, that's the thing, is it's very much one of those types of films, and that's the thing that we can say about DC and Sony still, is they're still the ones that are willing to do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
And that's I think the more interesting thing that is, because there's still really good stuff in Let There Be Carnage.
Yeah.
Specifically, I do love Venom and Eddie Brock's weird odd couple relationship, where they're clearly like, if they were two people, they would clearly be like lovers kind of thing. It's just this whole interesting thing going on.
There's a part of that movie that really stuck with me, where something really emotionally like tumultuous happens to Eddie Brock, and the next day Venom is trying to like be the good like bro, like to help him out. He's like trying to like cook him breakfast and stuff, but he's just like destroying everything around him. And he's trying to like puff him up and like heal his spirits, but he doesn't know what to say because he's an alien symbiote. And I'm just like sitting there, I'm like, I don't know, this is amusing. Like, this is fine.
those are some of the parts I like, but there's so few in between. I think is my issue with it.
Yeah,
that and the fact that it is my issue with a lot of sequel movies. For some reason, everyone's like, "What if they didn't have powers for like most of the movie?" It's like, guys, could you not do that again?
But
the only thing that's interesting about this is that it's a breakup more than him losing powers. And that's the only thing I found interesting about that. But there's not enough done with it, I think, in my opinion.
I don't know. I really enjoyed it. But then I went into it with absolutely zero expectations whatsoever and came out being like, that was 90 minutes long, and I didn't have to know anything, and it was fine. Like, I actually think you could probably watch that movie without having seen the first one. And it's like,
you easily could, actually.
You know what the Venom is. He's just a big goopy monster with teeth that's,
It explains enough for you to be able to watch it without needing the first one.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing, to be honest.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. It
has a post-credit scene, though, that could change whatever the fuck's going on with that character, so who knows from here on.
That's a really strange question because I don't feel like that movie fits into what happens in the post-credit. I'm like, I want to know without, I don't want to spoil it.
Without spoiling it, I'm going to say what Martin told me when we left the theater, which is that it's not so much a treat as it is a threat.
That makes sense. Well, speaking of threats, I really didn't think that we were going to have to talk about Activision Blizzard 3 weeks in a row, but
they sure found a way to do it, didn't they?
The life
microtransaction the way into fucking news stories.
Life finds a way, and so does Activision Blizzard. So, okay, this is a weird one. We don't have anything to talk about as far as ABK or Bobby Kotick or any of this stuff, but this is a very, very weird story. Let me read you this sentence from this Kotaku article, Michael, and you will know how weird the story is. State treasurers from California, Massachusetts, Illinois, Oregon, Delaware, and Nevada are calling on Activision Blizzard to take more serious measures in addressing ongoing high-profile investigations and lawsuits about the company's troubling culture.
Jesus Christ, that many states?
State treasurers. Now, stick with me, y'all, because this fucking shit is weird, all right? So state treasurers... They handle the purse strings in the state, right?
Yeah.
One of the things that state treasurers can do is they can invest the state's money into like various places to get a return on their investment. And apparently these states have some amount of stake in Activision Blizzard.
Oh my God, really?
So the thing is that keep up, everybody. This goes back to that idea that we've had before about like, let's throw away all the morality. Let's throw away all of the what should be done. What's the ethical? Let's throw away all that stuff. Part of the problem here, and especially with the stockholders and especially here with the treasurers, is that by withholding information from the people who are the investors and stockholders of Activision, what is being said here is that Kotick and the board of directors have kept the stockholders from being able to evaluate whether their investment was going to be negatively impacted by the things that were happening inside of the company. Like if something shitty, like if the fucking vice president stabs a guy, right, and you don't tell the stockholders, and then that news gets out, and then it causes the stock to drop. Obviously, the stockholders would have liked to have known about that beforehand, so they could have taken like they could have taken actions to like protect their investment. Well, these treasurers have invested in Blizzard to the tune of, it doesn't really say in the story how much, but basically it's like, so these investments are then like what is used to pay, like the returns on these investments for the state coffers are like used to pay like the pensions of like local government employees who retire and shit like that.
Oh my God.
So like it's such a convoluted web.
That's so weird.
So basically, these treasurers are saying that like on December 20th, they want to meet with the board of directors for Activision Blizzard to basically, and they're threatening, I guess, government action against Activision Blizzard if they don't comply, of just like, hey, we're just not like Wall Street investors. Like we're taking people's pension money and investing it in your company. And so by withholding this, like, you have to come and explain to us how you are protecting our investment, or else like we're gonna do government stuff.
That's amazing.
I don't even know what happens next. Like,
I don't know what's gonna happen next. Yeah. We're just gonna show up and like take all your shit. I guess I don't really know how that works.
I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, it's such a weird development in this where it's just like, because previously it's like when it started, it was all about the employees, right? Like you're treating your employees badly. Don't treat your employees badly. Be better. And then it was like, well, now the investors are in it. And it's like, well, the investors have a stake in knowing what's going on. And now it's like, well, it turns out that there are state treasuries that are investing in this. Like, how far does this go, Michael?
I don't know. How far does the Activision Blizzard train go?
I mean, are we going to get to a thing where like the European Union is voting on whether to like kick Activision out of Germany or some nonsense?
It'll
like,
probably be the Netherlands. They're really uppity about that sort of thing.
Yeah.
They ban all the things.
So, yeah, it's a really strange state of affairs. Let's do some wild, rampant speculation. As of this, and as of like last week, we had the Kotick saying that he would consider leaving. There was kind of that smaller group of stockholders that was asking for his or for him to be removed. The employees, there was a petition with like 1,000 signatures on it. Which Activision has 10,000 employees, so like it's not like the biggest thing,
it's not
but
the biggest thing.
But it's still 1,000 people. Like it's not nothing.
It's enough people to be like, it's not something to shy away from. They probably are like big enough names, I guess.
Do we think that Bobby Kotick? I mean, I feel like this is getting to the point where like, people in the United States, like CEOs in companies, right? They'll put up with a lot of shit for money, but then they're also mostly like, given how much Bobby Kotick has been making over these years, he is probably very, very, I mean, he is certainly very, very wealthy.
He's hella rich by now.
So, like, are we getting to the point where it's like, it's just time to be like, I don't want to put up with this shit anymore. I'm just going to fucking leave, and I'm going to go fucking play golf and hang out with my kids and, like, swim in my fucking giant Call of Duty-sized pool.
I'll sexually harass whoever I want once I'm gone.
Right.
Fuck you guys.
Well, that's the other thing is that, like, in this, I mean,
he has fuck you money. That's all. He's had it for ages.
I'm not defending Kotick, but, like, there has never been, like, a direct allegation against Kotick doing wrongdoing. It's just that, like, he is the leader, and so he bears responsibility for all this shit happening below him. So it's like, I don't like Bobby Kotick, but I haven't yet read an article that was like, oh, no, wait, there was that one where he told that lady that he would kill her on the phone.
Well, there were, like, allegations against him, but they were all, like, so far in the past that, like, there wasn't really anything to drudge up that would deeply affect his standing that way, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But the issue is that, like, he has so many of those things going on in his life, as well as just knowing about all the things that were going on here. If I was the other people in charge, I would just been like, it's been a good run.
Yeah.
He's made us stupid amounts of money. We don't even have to change anything, really. We can just keep doing what he's been doing and just replace him with, like, another person named Kotick Bobby and then just go from there.
It's just Bobby Kotick with a bad mustache.
Exactly.
Like a big Italian cartoon mustache, a woolly willy mustache.
He talks like Super Mario the whole time.
Hey, I'm a Kotick Bobby. I'm your new CEO. Hey.
We're making the spaghettis and put it in the Call of Duties.
The Spaghetti Friday here at Activision.
And then they just go for then it goes from there. And nobody would bat an eyelash if they did that.
I guess I'm wondering, like, there has to be a point where you're weighing the thing where you're already wealthy. I mean, obviously, people who are rich to you and me, like, they always want more money, where I'm just like, if you gave me like $2 million, I would probably just go move into a house and stream whenever I wanted to.
What's the thing?
Like,
yeah, if
you gave me a couple of $1 million, I would probably just be like, well, I'm out. I'm going to read books and live by a lake in a cabin with an HD TV in it.
That's the thing is, like, these people get like hundreds and millions of dollars, and if you gave us like $5 million, you probably would never hear from us again.
Yeah, just go into hiding. Just fucking buy the top of a mountain and go live on it.
Yeah, I would just buy a place, save what I have, and then the end.
Yeah,
like, that would be it. Like,
they just get started working on the world's greatest cheeseburger from now until I die.
Yeah, like it's like Bobby Kotick. Like, you're fucking. You don't need to keep doing this, bud.
Yeah,
I know you got planes to feed or whatever, but this is just like, I think you've done enough, bud. Just resign. I don't even calling you bud. I don't know why I said bud. But
Well, because you know him personally.
I know Bobby Kotick personally.
Me
He
and
took me on
Bobo!
took me on his jet and we just sexually harassed people all day. No.
He left this really shitty voicemail. Said he would kill me. That was
He
fucked
said
up.
that he knew Alec Baldwin and that he would send me a voicemail. It's just a whole thing. Those are all terrible jokes, by the way.
Yeah. Well, you really taking some swings.
But Bobby Kotick is a terrible person. Let's emphasize that
Absolutely.
as much as we can.
Yes.
But he's rich as shit.
Yeah.
He's got fuck you money, and he should have fucked off a long time ago.
Do you think that by the end of next year he will still be the CEO of Activision Blizzard?
I doubt it, especially with something like this. But he has, because even if he quits, he has a golden parachute that will just give him more money again.
Even if he quits, he's going to be like Reggie, right? He's just going to go work for some bullshit other place that hires him. Like
he's done gaming wise. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Everyone's like, his career's over. It's like, yeah, his career's over like gaming wise. But Exxon's probably looking at him going, it sounds like somebody we want to hang out with.
yeah, Kotaku isn't going to report on the Exxon board of directors doing a bad thing.
Yeah, like he's just gonna go fuck off to another company that has nothing to do with gaming at that point.
Actually, I just said that sentence, and Michael, we're not done yet. Because I have a story that's even more insane about Bobby Kotick than the one that I just told you.
Go on.
Okay. So did you know that Bobby Kotick also sits on the board of directors at the Coca-Cola Corporation?
Are you serious?
I did not know this until today.
Does he know the recipe? Is he one of them guys?
I don't think so. This is the fucking weirdest story. This is the weirdest story out of all of them, okay? Everybody
That picture looks like H. John Benjamin to me.
hold on to your pants. The National Legal and Policy Center, which is a right-wing organization, and they're definitely right-wing. I'm not going to read their whole statement, but like they are definitely lean to the right, that, quote, promotes ethics in public life.
What the fuck?
Has written to the Coca-Cola chairman and CEO, James Quincy, asking that he immediately seek the resignation of Bobby Kotick from the board of directors of Coca-Cola.
What the fuck?
This organization is like a morality police, a right-wing morality police organization, and they're basically saying that, like, if they don't if he won't leave, that they are demanding that he call the board of directors of the Coca-Cola organization together and vote to kick him out of the board of directors of the Coca-Cola organization. And
What the fuck?
it's so fucking weird. Like nothing. I don't have any follow up, but like if you guys have some time, you should read the statement that this organization put out, because
It's a long
like
statement. Holy shit.
and I don't want to get into it too much, but they're just like, you know, Coca-Cola came out against the Elections Integrity Act that was passed in Georgia. And so if you're going to hold up social justice values, then you need to remove this obviously bad person from your board of directors. Like, it's this very weird thing where, like, you start reading and it's just very legalese, and then you get down towards the bottom and it's just like, it's basically this thing where this organization is saying, like if you're going to meddle in social justice, if you're going to make statements about things happening in the world that are not directly related to Coca-Cola, then you need to basically like have the morality to fire a person who's being shady, who's on your board of directors.
That second to last sentence says it all. Your hypocrisy has not gone unnoticed.
Virtue signaling and pandering to the loudest political activists is not a replacement for real leadership.
Fucking hell.
Here is an opportunity to do the right thing. Mr. Kotick's continued membership on the Coca-Cola board is unacceptable. It's time for you to act. I find it fascinating, though, to hear like a very, very right-leaning source be like, yeah, fuck that guy. Like we're here to reinforce like fine, upstanding moral values, and this guy's obviously a piece of shit. So like fire him. And I'm like, wow, it's interesting the day that you see like this, and the fact that they care so much about the Coca-Cola board of directors is a really strange thing to me.
It's really the strangest part. It's because they went out of their way to find out what else he does.
Yeah.
And then they're like, Coca-Cola, stop this shit.
Yeah.
But they have nothing really they can do other than saying don't do that.
Well, I mean, they can vote him out, kick him out.
Well, the board of directors can, but I'm talking about the group itself.
These people, yeah.
The group itself is just sternly like wagging their finger at him, going, shame on you.
Yep.
But Coca-Cola could just be like, that's cool, and then go back to sniffing cocaine with the old recipe or whatever.
Yeah, that's the one thing is the threat doesn't really exist because, like, if you don't do this, we're all going to stop drinking Coca-Cola. That's never going to fucking happen.
No, it might happen for maybe their 1,000 members or something.
Right.
Like, cause it's like the Million Moms thing where it turns out there's only like 100 or something of them.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. It's like, we'll boycott you. It's like, you're bullshit compared to what's actually happening out there. So good luck with that.
Yeah.
So they don't have to do anything if they don't want to, but this is enough to throw them in the public eye, so they might have to like consider it. I don't know.
I mean, I guess the thing is that I wonder,
does the general public know who Bobby Kotick is? That's really what it comes down to.
Maybe at this point, I don't know. There's been so much movement on this stuff. Yeah, I don't have no idea whether it's like people outside of the gaming press just have absolutely no idea what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, am I able to like ask a neighbor? I'm like, do you like Coca-Cola? I was like, yeah. Do you know who Bobby Kotick is? And they're probably going to go, no, and then that'll be the end of the conversation.
Yep. So yeah, that's fucking weird, man.
Super weird.
That's fucking weird.
Not much else we can say on that one.
No. I mean, I guess this is maybe another strike in the column of just like Bobby Kotick just says like, all right, fuck you guys. I'm just going to go fucking sit by my pool and eat hot dogs until
drink
I
my
die.
Coca-Cola that I got
exactly.
from the board of directors.
Yeah. Man, if I had $1 million, I would just like spend like a whole week on the couch just getting delivery food and laying around in my own filth. And then I would get up and shower and go on.
I feel like you already do that, though.
I
or am I thinking of me? I might be thinking of me.
I usually sit in this chair in my office in my own filth, not lay on the couch.
Oh, okay.
That's a whole different level of laziness. I'm gonna get the fucking Baron Harkonnen like suspensors, but it's just gonna be like a guy with like a pulley system in my living room who like swoops me around, and I'm just like, bring me the head of Duke Leto Atreides. All right, so I promised you all Thanksgiving leftovers. We've had some reheated turkey in the Activision Blizzard. Now it's time for some microwave mashed potatoes because we got a lot of Battlefield 2042 to talk about.
Yeah.
The gift that keeps on giving. So, first up, I would like to give Battlefield 2042. I'd like to say a good thing about Battlefield 2042.
All right, let's start with that.
Apparently, this week, Battlefield 2042, DICE released a patch that has it's like 130 fixes or something like that. Like,
Christ almighty.
It's got a lot of fixes. Like, you can look at the whole listing. A lot of it is like graphical stuff. Some of it is, it's hard to tell whether all the stuff is fixed because, people write articles on news websites saying like, they put out a fix for a bunch of different issues, and then it's like you have to read the change log to find out what all happened, and it's like, I don't know.
That is a really long.
I don't want to do all that.
That thing is massive. Holy shit!
Like they redid the UI to make it easier to look at. They did a thing where it's like if you're on the ground, if you get shot, like you can see whether there's a medic within 50 meters of you, so that you know whether to call a medic or whether not to call a medic because you're just out in the middle of fucking nowhere. There's nobody around you. Some matchmaking stuff. There's some stuff with some of the graphical stuff that's been fixed. One of the things that has been there was a big thing. I don't know if I mentioned this was there's like a sniper rifle that apparently does more damage than the rocket launcher does to vehicles, and they toned that down so that the rocket launcher is the preferred method of taking out vehicles instead of switching over to a sniper rifle. Yeah, so they did a lot of fixes. There's no news stories out there about like, it's super better now, but there have been a lot of fixes that have been done. So
That's good. Yeah, the last time I saw something this fucking gigantic was when Avengers came out, and they came out with that giant fuck off patch because the campaign was damn near unplayable for a lot of people.
It feels like a Cyberpunk patch notes as well. Like just a lot of little things.
Just like if you printed it, it would be like a book kind of thing.
There's fixes to the individual operators and characters. So yeah, that happened. That came out. That's a good thing.
No, that's not a bad thing.
Now let's say some bad things. So first off, Battlefield 2042 is apparently now the worst rated Battlefield in the entire series history.
Oh wow.
The worst rated mainline entry, because remember they had that free to play Battlefield Heroes and stuff like that.
I forgot about that. I forgot that existed.
Yeah. Apparently this game is like on Metacritic, it's like the Xbox version is 64, the PS5 version is 68, the PC is 71. Apparently like Battlefield 5. Apparently, the reason I really wanted to put this out there was Battlefield Hardline scored higher.
Are you serious?
Than Battlefield 2042 has. Yeah. Hardline generally was between a 71 and a 73. So this is like below Battlefield Hardline.
That was poor bastards. Oh my God.
Yeah. Which is saying something because Battlefield Hardline.
People hate that fucking game.
You remember that they made Visceral make that single player campaign, and that's like what killed off Visceral as a studio after Dead Space 3? Like,
yeah, you used to be able to buy that game, actually probably still, for like $5 almost every fucking day. It was constantly on sale.
You know what'll be great for our military shooter? Let's make it Cops. Let's make it Cops.
Let's make arrests and stuff.
And it had a single player campaign that I played all the way through, and I don't think was very good. And like,
no one thought it was good. I don't know anyone who still talks about that game.
Yeah. But that's not all. That low scores are not the only thing, because also we've seen that the player count is dropping drastically.
Well, that I'm not surprised by.
Now, here's the thing, is that we really only have the Steam numbers, so this could be very much skewed. Because it's also on Origin, it's also on the Epic Game Store, it's on the consoles. The only like figures we have are Steam, because they're the only platform that like puts that stuff out there for people to read.
There's like a graph.
Apparently around the peak of launch day, Battlefield was doing 105,000 and change simultaneous players.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Over the last week, this is measured over 24 hours. It'll be out of date by the time we did that. It was down to 34,000.
Jesus Christ, really?
So from 105,000, like more than 60% drop.
It's been like what, a week or two at most? It hasn't been that long.
It's been like 2 weeks. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
So yeah, that's not good.
That's really surprising. Like, sure, it's a Steam number, but Steam numbers are a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, I think one of my favorite examples of that was Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite Steam numbers.
Mm-hmm.
The day Dragon Ball FighterZ came out, like it just dropped like a fucking rock. Like the second that game was available, nobody touched that game ever again.
Yeah,
and that's a big deal for especially for a lot of companies, because it's something they can look at and something the public can look at, and it looks bad on them. So yeah.
So I actually have a few things that I want to throw out there, because I read an article. I don't think I put it in here. I was talking with you about it before, about like a polling, because Call of Duty Vanguard is down this year, from previous years. There was a poll where they were asking people like, why, did you not get Call of Duty Vanguard? If not, why not? And like the most people, I mean, it was like 30% because it was all split into different things. Yeah. But most people were just like, I just have a lot of games that I'm playing, because like Call of Duty Vanguard is now competing this year with Battlefield 2042, which is also competing with fucking Halo, the first new Halo in, 3 years, 4 years, something like that. So, and that's free to play, right? Anybody that has both Xbox and PC, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the multiplayer is completely free.
Yeah, so you don't have to buy it. You can just go in there and do Battle Pass stuff. But then that's on top of the fact that you and I keep talking about the fact that like by where we are this year in the recording cycle, there should be no more games this year. But like December is full. Like this December is as full as like almost as full as, I mean, not quite October, but like August, September, definitely. Like
it's a fucking, what's the word? It's a paradox, or is the best word I can come up with.
Okay.
Not a paradox, but it's weird. Like it's unprecedented is the word.
You go.
It's the actual word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Because like you said, because the reason for that is because a lot of the times to companies' holiday sales don't mean like the actual December time.
Right.
They mean
everything's going to be out by Black Friday.
They mean before Black Friday.
Yeah.
Because that's when everyone bum rushes to get everything most likely for Christmas by that point. A lot of people do their Christmas shopping that fucking day.
Right.
Like honestly, like it's that's the reason it's such a big deal for a lot of retailers as well as gaming companies. That's why there's so many unfinished games that come out before Black Friday because there's like, so we got to get the shit out now, and
that's probably why 2042 was like it was.
Yeah, most likely. I think that's sometimes that I don't remember last time it happened. I know it happened to a few games not too long ago, but it happens very, very easily because they have to make the holiday release date.
Yep.
And Halo Infinite is coming out in December 8th, which is fucking weird. Like that's not a normal thing.
The new Five Nights comes out in December. That Chorus game with the lady flying the Gothic spaceship is coming out in December. Like, there's all kinds of shit that is coming out in December, and like all of it's not big, but there's also like
there's enough big ones to just make it very strange.
Well, the Animal Crossing expansion came out. The Shin Megami Tensei 5 came out. Like these are games that would have been like the big game that everybody's playing this week, but they're just back to back to back to back to back.
Oh, absolutely.
I told poor Michael this week, I was just like I have to record something on this day that's a lull, and so we're playing Riders Republic, but like outside of that day, this whole week has been full of shit. Like just wait till we get down the path. We got
to hang out with Brett though.
We did get to hang out with Brett. That was pretty cool. Brett's pretty cool. So it's not necessarily surprising when you just say all that had to happen was other games had to be willing to step up and fucking like go toe to toe with these other games. And
well, usually these games have enough of they usually have enough of a time frame where they come out a lot really separate from each other.
Yeah,
like usually something like Battlefield might have came out in October, and then Halo was going to come out in November. Or Call of Duty might even came out in May or something.
Right.
Like they're usually much like it's like movies. Like movies are much more. They're very attentive of what's coming out on a certain weekend.
Yeah.
And they'll move because they're like, well, I don't want to get into a fight with that.
Yep.
Those things. All three of these shooters stared each other down and they were like, fucking, I dare you.
I think just so much got delayed out of 2020 that it was like, if you didn't start putting this shit out, that 2021 was going to be you were going to continue to have this problem.
Yeah.
Because new games would be ready to come out. And so there was never going to be a dead zone. So I literally think that we're just in a period where like 2021 has just been like everything from 2020 got pushed, but then there was also stuff that was already going to come out in 2021, and so we're just in the middle of this fucking tsunami of games.
And February is going to be fucked.
Yes.
Oh my god,
I'm not looking forward to February.
No. Oh, it's actually the shortest month of the year.
I am looking forward to February because there's going to be a lot of good games.
Your wallet is not looking forward to February, is what you mean?
True. Yes.
My wallet's scared shitless.
So yeah. From there, today, Michael. We have another Battlefield 2042 story. Guess who just got put in charge of the Battlefield franchise?
Kotick Bobby.
Hey, it's me, Kotick Bobby. Come here. Come get these meatballs. Nope.
Boddick Kobe.
It is a... Is this an Italian name? Is Zampella an Italian name?
It might actually be.
Respawn's Vince Zampella is going to be in charge of Battlefield, apparently, at this point.
Interesting.
Yeah. And he plans on, like... There's going to be taking over 2042 and wants to kind of put it into like a connected Battlefield-verse. I'm like, why?
I don't know how that's going to work out.
Yeah. What is like, are you going to cross over 2042 with like Hardline 2042?
They should make a bad company 2042. See what those
hey.
characters are up to in 2042.
Sure. This to me stinks of desperation of just like this game.
I know it is.
It was terrible. And we have like one guy. We got the guy who made the last big money maker for them, Apex Legends, and they're just like, come do it. Put your magic on it, Zampella.
We're going to make Titanfall again.
Yeah.
Battlefield Titanfall.
Battlefield Titanfall. What if Battlefield 2143 came out and it turns out it was actually also Titanfall 3?
I'd be cool with that. Let's do this shit.
Yeah. That happened right now.
Connect all the universes.
Happened today. Weird. Very weird. So he said, this is an and strategy in many ways. We will continue to evolve and grow Battlefield 2042, and we'll explore new kinds of experiences and business models along the way that we can add to the foundation to provide an awesome array of experiences for our players. In this universe, the world is interconnected with shared characters and narrative. Where? What the fuck are you talking about, Zampella?
That's not a thing in
you know
Battlefield at the moment.
Irish is in Battlefield 2042.
Is he?
He's in Battlefield 4. Yeah, Michael Williams, K. Williams, I guess.
I don't know.
From Battlefield 4, he's in 2042. He's in like a little short film they did. And he's one of the operators in the game before
Neat,
he passed away.
Yeah, I was like, I was about to go to
Yeah. We plan to grow Battlefield and meet players when they play through various experiences and business models, including our upcoming Battlefield Mobile coming in 2022 from Alex Seropian and Industrial Toys. Okay, I guess that's so.
I don't know what that means, but sure.
All right, whatever.
Don't you guys have phones? He said.
Yeah. All right. We're almost done with Battlefield because now it's time for the what the fuck of the week, the things that you can do in Battlefield. One of the things that came out today, somebody posted a video on Twitter. There are little penguins in Battlefield, and apparently if you walk up to them with the repair wrench, you can basically restore their health by using the repair tool on the penguins in Battlefield 2042.
Wait, so the penguins can get hurt?
It is unclear to me the answer to that question. All that I know is that apparently if you walk up to the penguins with this repair tool and you use it on them, they have a health bar that goes back up as you weld them with your welding tool.
This proves that everybody's theories. Birds are not real.
So
they're drones.
Yeah.
They're watching you.
This is one of those things I think they should not fix. I do not think they should fix.
They should not fix it.
Repairing the penguins.
They should make it a game type. Fix the penguin.
Oh yeah. Like you have penguins and the enemy has penguins. You're trying to kill each other's penguins.
Yeah, it's like Batman Returns where they all have like rockets strapped to them.
Yeah.
Or whatever, but you got to keep them alive so they can kill the other penguins.
I'd do that.
It'd be amazing.
That's the funny one. The less funny one is apparently if you're playing Battlefield 2042 and someone throws a smoke bomb and you hit the if you hit the pause button and go into the collectibles menu, the smoke on the screen just fucking disappears.
Oh my god!
Like, yeah, it's just gone, just totally gone, just goes away. So
that's fucking weird.
You know, that's probably something that somebody should fix.
Well, that's such a specific thing that no one in their right mind, QA-wise, would have figured that shit out.
Yes. I don't blame QA for this one little bit because this is the sort of dumb shit that can only be figured out once your game is in the hands of like hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah,
like
this is 100% not something anyone would have figured out on their own.
It's still just one of those like, what?
Like, I don't know who figured that out, but good for you, buddy.
Yep.
You must have really wanted to look at a collectible when a smoke bomb went off.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah. And that's all the Battlefield 2042 we have, but it's not all the EA that we have because EA also filed a patent this week. Now, as we all know, patents aren't the thing. There doesn't mean that whatever the thing that's been patented is an actual thing.
Absolutely. You can patent rocket penguins all you want.
Right.
Doesn't mean you're going to make one.
But this one was for basically a server-side evaluation using AI to determine whether somebody is cheating by like observing their movements. And this is like to counteract people that go around that like get new hardware IDs or like getting around the normal ban things by like essentially watching the way that the player plays the game and then trying to evaluate whether they're cheating based on how they're playing the game. So like if you can see that the player is like unerringly doing headshots through walls or whatever, then you could be like, oh, that's a cheater and we're going to just ban them like without anybody telling us to or being reported or anything using AI. Now, that sounds all well and good, except that like the AIs never work the way they want them to.
No.
So some people are going to get some like people who are just really good at this game are going to get banned, and then it's going to be some kind of fucking nightmare trying to get in touch with EA support to get unbanned because you just do good headshots in Battlefield. Like
that's the thing about banning cheaters is that like when they automate it, it's like it's done in good it's done with good intentions.
Yeah.
But it rarely only hits the cheaters. Like it's just never. It's like with what happened with Fallout 76, and them banning like the people who played for like 90 hours
right.
to get all these guns and stuff. And like, you have these guns, it means you're a cheater,
right?
And then they just like ban them, even though they're like the people who play the game the most.
Like these are your only customers. Like do not ban them.
Like, that happens very easily with these types of things. So
yeah,
I don't know.
It'll be interesting to see whether this happens. I do kind of like the idea that part of this patent is like the account, like talking about like cheater accounts, the account may be subjected to rate throttling, limiting, and/or response delaying mechanisms that can be configured to limit the negative impact of parasitic activities within the game application, indicating that like part of the price that you'll pay for being a cheater is not just like getting banned, but like having the server artificially like fuck your game up so that you can't play it.
Oh my god!
like throttling your ping, or like response delay, like delaying like putting artificial lag on your experience online to
That'd be
make
kind
it
of amazing.
suck. It's kind of an interesting idea. I don't know. Again, like I've said before, just because this is patented doesn't mean that it'll be a thing. Could be something else.
They're probably still working on it. They're probably still trying to perfect it or figure out how to microtransaction it.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's figuring out.
It does, though, directly tie into our Halo news of the week because apparently Halo Infinite...
I heard about this, actually.
Yeah. I didn't know this until I looked at it, but apparently Halo Infinite does not have any client-side anti-cheat software running. So all of the anti-cheat stuff is happening on the server. So they're kind of going the opposite way from Call of Duty. Vanguard has like that kernel-level software that installs on the PC. Halo, though, they do all of the checking on the server to make sure that cheaters aren't happening. Apparently, it's not going great because there's a lot of cheating. And apparently, one of the big problems is that there is literally no way to separate the crossplay. So console players must play with the PC player base.
There is, but it's really complicated, apparently.
Yeah.
Because this is how I found out about it. There's a Reddit post where people were like, hey, is there a way to separate it? And there's a way to tell your Xbox to just never do crossplay. But you're telling the Xbox to stop it for everything.
For all games.
For all games.
Okay.
And it's like deep in the settings kind of thing that you have to find, and it's the only way to do it. But Halo doesn't have like a switch, because there are games that have crossplay that just has a switch in them to just be like, hey, I just only want to play with Xbox players or whatever.
I wish I'd known that switch on the Battlefield 2042. People fucking shit talking me from the PC. And just like, man, I'm just a console plebeian, man. I want to play this game for real. I just want to have fun. You remember video games like fun and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I saw some videos of these cheats, and it's a lot of aimbots for the most part, just like snipe.
Yeah.
And the guy's like not even like zooming in. He's just getting headshots.
Apparently, one of the things this article says is that you can choose ranked matches based on like control type. So you could technically try to limit your exposure to PC players by saying, I want to only play people who are using a controller. But, I mean, you can obviously use a controller on the PC. So, like, it's not 100%. Apparently, though, like, the console players are not super happy about this and would like to be able to have the option to not crossplay. Bungie, or 343, not Bungie. 343 seems like they're like, we do not want to split the player base, especially now that we've already started this and the two player bases are integrated. We don't want to like go through and like let them segregate into two separate player bases. So they're actually talking about, like, actually one of the things that they came out and said was that they anticipated that there was probably going to be a fair amount of cheating happening early on, and that they apparently have a multi-pronged approach to they're not trying to put all their eggs into one anti-cheat basket. They have like a number of different anti-cheat strategies they're attempting to refine, update, and get working, all of which again are server side as opposed to client side, to try to make the experience as smooth as possible for people playing the game, whilst cutting down on the cheating as much as humanly possible. So I actually wanted to ask you about this, Michael, because you play Halo Infinite. You've been playing it. Have you run into much cheating?
The thing is, it's hard to tell if you're not like looking out for it.
Yeah.
Like I've died from people like who I'm like, oh, there's no way they did that, but I never like look at them long enough to be like, no, they're cheating kind of thing. Because a lot of the times it's just they're just very good with specific weapons kind of thing.
Right.
So I've never felt like I ran into a guy with a sniper who was headshotting me no matter where I was.
Yeah.
A lot of it was just like, that guy has a sword and I can't fucking kill him in time.
Right.
And just every single time.
So it hasn't been a negative experience.
No, so far. Like it's all just the normal, that guy's probably better than me, or that guy's weapon's just better than what I have. like so far, but I don't play it as much as like as probably a lot of these other players do.
Right.
Who are definitely going to be able to see something like that. I'm just playing it on and off, so it hasn't been too much of an issue for me, at least.
Okay. Well, that's the bad news. Hopefully they get that all worked out. The good news is apparently they've been working on the Battle Pass. And one of the things that they changed is the progression on the Battle Pass. Apparently, it used to take 20 multiplayer matches to get one rank in the Battle Pass.
Yeah, because you got very little XP from it.
Yeah, you used to get 50 XP.
Yeah.
They've decided, they've changed that now, where apparently your first through sixth game, every day will be enough XP to get one level. So it's 300 for your first game, it's 200 for your second and third, and it's 100 for the fourth, fifth, and sixth, and that's enough to get one level. And then after that, once you get to 7, it's only 50 XP per game after that. But that seems to me like a reasonable compromise. Like you can make, that was what I used to do with Overwatch, right? You get your daily login, play enough to get the stuff for the day, and then just fucking log off and like.
Well, it's actually really good for a lot of the majority of people, because a majority of people, like I said, like me, they'll just play for a little bit,
and
then they have to go do something else, and
like a podcast or something.
Yeah, something like that. There's a majority of free to play adults or don't really have time.
Yeah,
so a lot of times, so they're just like, well, I'll play it for like an hour or two and then go from there. And that's enough to like turn on an XP boost and get through these, and then just be done with the day.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and it's still really good for whoever's been playing it nonstop, because they're still getting the same amount of XP they were getting before. Just they're getting it like if you're playing, doing an all nighter, and it's not like 7 games are short. 7 games or there's 6. It's not like 6 games are short. Like when we did that video, like with that last big team battle. Lasted forever.
Yeah. It was like 20, 25 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, it was a really long battle.
Yeah.
And that could have easily been the first game, and that would have gotten me 300 XP or something. And I would have been like, I don't feel like playing now, because I've been playing for fucking like 4 hours because I did like 6 giant games or something.
Yeah.
And then you would be fine. Like it's just like it's a good compromise, but they are desperately trying to figure out ways of making it more enjoyable for the people who are doing long run,
right,
kind of thing. Because those guys are still having massive issues. Because I ran into the issues because of the event they did.
Mm-hmm.
There was an event they did during the Thanksgiving week, because that was another thing I did.
Samurai armor, right?
Yeah, is that you can unlock this samurai type armor, and as well as other stuff in it, like emblems, different colors. But the only way to progress it was to get the challenges. But the issue was that there wasn't always a challenge for it.
Oh.
So if you had all your daily challenges, you had to get through your daily challenges to maybe get one of the challenges for it.
Oh, I see.
So it took me like 5 hours or something worth of gameplay to get the armor, which is like level 5 in the fucking card.
Right.
And it's like there's like 30 or 40 of like levels in this thing.
Yikes.
And they were like, oh, not everyone's going to unlock everything right away. So yeah, but people want to be able to at least unlock the thing that they want.
They get something every day. That's,
and the issue was that they set it to where you had to play forever just to get the one armor thing. And that took forever, like I said. And that was with an XP boost.
It's, what? The thing, though, that I'm glad to see about all this Halo stuff is that, like, I don't want to talk ill of your favorite game of all time, Michael, but like
Are you talking about Metal Gear?
No, I'm talking about Avengers. Is that I do like the fact that this team seems like they've been incredibly responsive to trying to fix this stuff and fix it fast. Like they knew they were going to have to hit the ground running and like make adjustments, as opposed to being like, oh my God, what do you mean people have a problem with the thing that we released? I guess we'll have to put together a team to analyze it for 6 months and then figure out what to do next.
Maybe.
Like, they really have jumped on it, and that's good, because if people get mad, like we saw in Battlefield 2042, they'll just fucking stop playing this game and go play one of the other big jillion games that are out right now.
It helps that this is Microsoft's flagship.
Yeah.
And it also helps that Microsoft has a lot of money.
That is very true.
Their budget is damn near unlimited.
Well, speaking of huge companies with unlimited budgets who do stupid shit, Grand Theft Auto, the trilogy, is back again. Apparently, there is a big patch, 1.03 patch, that fixes a whole shitload of things, including some graphical elements. I mean, actually, like I don't feel like there was really much in the way of. I feel like I haven't seen that many like videos describing like janky gameplay in these PS2. They were janky to begin with.
Yeah,
right.
Like already janky.
I don't feel like it was like the cars flip over and it's like, well, they did that in the original game.
Yeah, that was just always the thing.
It was mostly just the visuals. So like, there's a huge bunch of updates, more than 100 in the various things. So many of these, when you look through the patch notes, are just like fixed an issue where rain could be seen inside during this mission. Fixed an issue where rain could be seen inside during this mission. Apparently, they fixed the nut that got smoothed out.
The nut? Oh, that
in the donut store. Yeah. They fixed the smoothed out nut on the donut store. They fixed some of the words, the guitar wank and stuff like that on the front of stuff. One of these patch notes for San Andreas was like, CJ now has run animations for if he's like max fat or max muscle that are different than his normal animations. And I'm like, well, if that was there, did you add that to the game, or did you just like not bother to put that in the first place?
I don't. That's weird. Yeah, I don't know. This whole thing has been a clusterfuck. But the thing is, like, I talked to some people who actually got it, and a lot of them didn't even notice what had happened because they were like expecting it to be janky to begin with.
They just expected it to be garbage, and then it was garbage, and
then they're just like,
hey.
yeah, but it's an old PS2 game, and they're just like, but it wasn't supposed to be like this.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently, they also are fixing they fixed the clear skies in San Andreas problem, where like there was no smog and you could just see fucking forever because the draw distance went so far. So yeah, maybe you want to check it out. I've kind of made up my mind that I have no interest in going back and playing Grand Theft Auto 3 when there's like a million new games to play. I'd rather play new games than go back and play old games.
I'm good,
except for Death Stranding. I will go back and play.
Yeah, I'm good for not wanting to play these for a while. Like there's too many things out, and I accidentally started a new game of Max Payne 3, and I need to finish that now. It was an accident, I swear.
It was not an accident. You described that to me, and you are old enough that you cannot use that excuse anymore about just like, I'm going to load up Max Payne 3 and see how it is after all these years. Oh, no, I'm going to finish it now.
I wanted to see how it was on the Xbox Series X.
Yeah,
not realizing that no load times causes your brain to just be like, just keep going, bro. You just keep going.
You could have watched a YouTube video to see how it looked on the Xbox Series X. I know that trick.
The answer is it's gorgeous.
I gotta boot this game up before playing on the dojo to make sure that it runs correctly. So, Michael, I played 12 hours yesterday of Riders Republic.
It was an accident, guys, I swear.
It was a total accident. I didn't mean to.
Max Payne put a gun in my head and said, you gotta keep going.
Yep.
I was popping pain pills.
So that's good news for GTA Trilogy. Bad news for GTA Trilogy. The definitive physical editions have been delayed. This isn't hugely bad news. Apparently, the original physical editions were supposed to ship November 7th.
I guarantee it's because they had the hot fucking coffee inside of it.
This is a console version, so yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I told you, legally they're not allowed to sell those with that code in there, or else it's considered an AO game.
Well, plus I think it'd be good if they applied some of these fixes to whatever. I guess maybe if they're delaying it, anyway, they're supposed to be out November 7th. They're going to now be out December 17th for the PS, the Xbox and PlayStation version. The Switch version is coming early 2022, the physical versions. So
yeah, I'm 100% sure that's what happened, and they just don't want to say it out loud.
Probably so. All right, so we've mentioned Battlefield, we've mentioned Activision Blizzard, we've mentioned Grand Theft Auto. We're really on a video game shit show parade of favorites, of 2021 favorites on the Rage Select podcast. What other favorite could be next when I close this tab, Michael?
I almost said Fallout, but that was last year.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to go with Cyberpunk.
You are correct. Ding, 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 ding. Cyberpunk 2077. Actually, I mean, this is not the worst, but they had an investor call and they talked about how they verified that they are on track for Q1 2022 to have the next gen versions of Cyberpunk 2077. You know, the games that came out a year ago,
are they
a whole year ago? No. If you load it up on your next gen console, you get in the PS4, the Xbox One version, just with the slight enhancements of running an older game.
Oh, so I forgot to mention this. I bought Cyberpunk during Black Friday.
It was like $10.
It was $10, and I bought it for the Xbox One for like $10, and I was like, because I kept thinking the next gen had came out already.
Nope.
And so I could upgrade it.
Yep.
But now I'm like, well, now I have it for one if there is an upgrade
Well,
path.
Q1 2022.
Then that's when I'll play the game.
Yep. That, and then also The Witcher 3 Enhanced Edition, which they still have not put out on next-gen consoles. In fact, I believe that The Witcher 3 spent a whole year on Xbox Game Pass and then ran out of its licensing and left Xbox Game Pass before they put out the next-gen update for The Witcher 3.
That's amazing.
Yeah. However, there's a part of this that I also fucking hate, which is that apparently in their investor call, they talked about how they're scaling back the work on Cyberpunk 2077, the fixes and such, because they're putting more and more personnel into making a fucking expansion pack for Cyberpunk 2077. I do not believe that that game is fixed to the point where you should be diverting resources out of fixing that game, because I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe I haven't booted it up recently and it's super good now. But
well, it might be one of those things where like enough of their fixes are still already far underway.
Yeah.
That they feel confident enough to get some people out of that giant team that was working on that.
Yeah.
That's my hope, at least. I think
being
optimistic.
I think Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be a mediocre game that isn't very good. Like I just
probably. Yeah.
at the end of the day, I just don't see it being like the bones of it needed reworking, in my opinion. At least if you wanted to have like the idea when they pitched that game of having it be a vent like a 0451 event crawler type of game, like a simulator, where you can like solve problems in different ways. And like I said, when I played it, I wanted to be a stealth hacker, and that path was not fucking viable. And as far as I'm concerned, like if that path is not viable, then like I feel like most of the people that played Cyberpunk and they're like, it was fine, where people were like, I used a machine gun the entire time to set people on fire with my electric superpowers. And it's like, okay, well that's cool. I wanted to be the sneaky ninja and then like turn the turrets against them, but like it's like you would hack a turret and it would shoot a guy, and then everybody in the area would fucking go on alert and just zero in on your position and fucking murder the shit out of you. Anyway.
No, I get it. Yeah, that's the thing, is that like everything I've heard that's super, super negative is just the fact that there's not enough things to actually, there's no real paths for differences in gameplay. It's a lot of just like, well, you're just going to be Shooter McGavin or else you're fucked kind of thing.
Yeah. I might try it again if they decide that they're going to go this direction. I might try it again when the next-gen versions and expansion both come out. Because I just haven't... I've been reading the patch notes, and I haven't seen them adding gameplay.
No.
Like, they seem to be fixing stuff, and they seem to be adding cosmetics, but they do not seem to be adding gameplay elements to make the gameplay deeper. Because as it was just like, it was a medium shooter. Like, it was just an open world medium first person shooter. Like, if you try to do that other stuff, it was okay, but it wasn't like great. Like, the fact that there's the hacking is just like pointing at a thing and like hitting a button, and like
that was the whole thing. Yeah.
This is Cyberpunk. Where's cyberspace? Where's the like I want to do this mission by going in and like when Watch Dogs 2 is a better like hands-off stealth thing where you can like send your drones in to do the work. Like, that's kind of what I expected from the things that they said. Like, I didn't make it up, it was just like, you'll be a hacker in the Cyberpunk future that can literally just use your thing to turn off a guy's eyeballs, and then you start screaming, and everybody comes and starts shooting at you, and you're just like, well, what was the point of the turn off eyeballs if it was just going to result in the same thing that would happen if I stabbed somebody in the face? Like, why? There is anyway. Sorry, I'm not going down this road.
That's the whole thing, guys. But maybe an expansion will help with that. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe they'll add some more stuff to it, more Alana Pierce, that kind of thing. Well,
when you do have that expansion, at least not in the short term, they also said do not expect to see Cyberpunk on Xbox Game Pass or PS Now anytime in the near future.
That's fine. It's $10.
It's $10. Well,
what does Cyberpunk cost? $10?
How much could a single Cyberpunk cost, Michael? Yeah. Apparently, they said that like they put Witcher 3 on Game Pass, and they said that was like far enough in the lifespan of Witcher 3 that they felt comfortable doing it, but that you shouldn't expect Cyberpunk 2077 at any point in the near future on one of these subscription services, because apparently they're just going to keep squeezing fucking cashola out of you. I didn't know this,
but
like,
try at least.
up until Black Friday, that game was not discounted. Like
It depended on where you went. Some places were just like trying to give the fucking thing away.
Well, there is.
So the thing is, like, because they had so many copies of it, but it was still a fairly. But it's never been like super full price either.
It wasn't like a home front.
Yeah, even when I went to GameStop, it was like I think 25 used kind of thing, which is not a lot for a game that came out at what, the beginning of the year or something like that.
Or, late last year.
Even then, that's still a pretty small amount.
Yeah,
for something like that,
especially considering it's CD Projekt Red's game that was in development for like 8 years, right?
Yeah, it dropped like a fucking ton of rocks down a well. So fast.
Yeah.
So fast, guys. And it's a shame because I knew people who took time off to play this game only to find an unplayable mess.
I tried super hard and I did not get what I wanted. I will try again. See, here's the problem, Michael. I have one more try in me. Like, if I try playing Cyberpunk again and it's not fun, because it wasn't fun. If I try playing Cyberpunk 2077 again, it's not a fun game that I want to play, I will never be going back to it. Like, you could tell me that's the best game in the world, but like, if I try to play,
what if there was a Bill and Ted expansion to it?
I will not be playing it again. That's
what it needs. It needs Alex Winters to offset the Keanu Reeves.
Keanu's character, Johnny Silverhand, sucks. I hate him. He's like the voice in your head, but he's a fucking dick. Like, he sucks. And I hate him. And I'm just like, he keeps trying to be like, fucking kill yourself or let me take over your body, you stupid asshole. And I'm just like, Keanu, get out of here. Fucking get out of here, Keanu.
He just wants to hang out with Patrick Swayze, that's all.
But it's just like, I don't have time to keep trying to play this game over and over again to see if you've got it right. Like, if a game is good, you'll know it because you'll play half of Max Payne 3 or you'll look up and you'll be like, holy shit, it's 2:00 in the morning. I've been playing Deathloop. Have I not stood up for 4 hours? Like, if you know a game is good, it's good. If you have to force yourself to play a game over and over again to see if it's good, that's not a good game, in my opinion.
It's true. No.
So, I was forcing myself to play it when it originally came out. I will give it one more try, and I'm going to try it when it's as done as possible, because if not, then it's a Final Fantasy 15 where you can fix it all you want, but I'm never fucking going back to that place. So.
What if they make them chibi and put it on the Switch?
Nope. Don't give a shit. Don't give a shit. Don't give a shit. Anyway, that's the first half. We're gonna take a break. We still got a lot more left to go. I don't know. We might end up with some questions because a lot of those tabs that I opened up are trailers. So
we'll see how it goes.
We'll see you in a minute for more Rage Select Podcast. Michael, we're back.
Yes,
it's time for more news, more everything. So when we last left, we were talking about Cyberpunk. We're done talking about Cyberpunk. There's no more Cyberpunk.
Yes, no more Cyberpunk.
No more
Jeff
Cyberpunk.
will go on a rant.
Yes.
And no one wants that.
Nobody wants. Everybody. Actually, most people want that. But
no, it's true. They do. They do actually.
No more Cyberpunk. There's also not going to be any more Titanfall. Titanfall 1 is getting pulled off of storefronts.
Well, that's a shame, I think.
It's already pulled off. The servers are going to remain up for a little while, but then March. It's no longer available on digital marketplaces, and it's going to disappear from the subscription services in March of next year. Apparently, this is due to the fact that, and this is OG Titanfall, not Titanfall 2.
Yeah.
Apparently, a lot of this is due to the fact that Titanfall is just like there's DDoS attacks and hackers and all this like stuff that's happening, and I can't imagine there's a huge player base left on original Titanfall.
This happens to a lot of older versions of games in general. Like, even if this was Titanfall 2, but like, yeah, because all the original Call of Duties way after the fact, those player bases always turn into hackers galore, just garbage. Like a garbage fire of terribleness.
So I'm not especially surprised that this is happening. It does kind of suck though that it's not just going to be available. Like, at a certain point, it's just going to be like gone.
Yeah,
I don't like the delisting stuff.
I'm not too upset though because it didn't really have a plot though.
Yeah,
so that was the thing about Titanfall 1.
It was just a multiplayer game.
It was a multiplayer game only, and it had like I think you could find some story stuff if you looked around or something like that.
It had a story that was like baked into the missions, so you would get like comms traffic and like a briefing and stuff, but then the matches were just multiplayer matches.
It was like bots too, I think, for the story version or whatever.
There was like bots and then other players, and it was kind of weird. It was okay.
It was also only an Xbox One game, if I remember correctly.
I think it was on the PC.
There's a 360 version, but it didn't have the single player stuff in it.
Yeah. Titanfall 2 is definitely a better game. So
100%.
I'm not too...
Titanfall 1 was an experiment.
Yeah. That was Weston Zampella coming off of Call of Duty trying to do stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It's not a super big deal. Also kind of a bummer. It brings up that thing that we constantly talk about, which is just, when you have digital only games and then they delist them, that's a real bummer.
It's a games preservation thing.
Yeah.
Like there's so many games that exist that like no one will ever be able to play again legally, or maybe even physically, because they never came out physically either.
I have a physical copy of Titanfall because it was pre-Game Pass.
Yeah.
And I played it with Brian and Jason back in the day on my Xbox One Day One edition. So I went to the store and physically bought a disc of Titanfall. So no one can stop me from playing original Titanfall.
It belongs in a museum, Jeff.
No. I'm just that's my retirement strategy, is just after they delist all this bullshit, I'm going to sell copies of Titanfall on eBay for, $1 million a piece.
Yeah, I went out of my way to get a physical copy of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World to not have that fucking that delist shit happen again.
Yeah.
Even though I still had my digital copy of it, but there's so many people I talk to, they're like, "There's a Scott Pilgrim game." I'm like, "Yeah, it's great." And they're like, "Can I play it?" No,
You can't.
Now they can, but who knows how long that'll last too.
Yep. Let's see. Another gaming news. There was the FAQ for the Steam Deck was updated to basically say, okay, this is really weird. Like, part of the developer documentation was an FAQ that was posted for the Steam Deck, and one of the questions on there was, would Valve be interested in having any Steam Deck exclusive titles? And the answer was no. That doesn't make much sense to us. It's a PC, and it should just play games like a PC.
No, that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
This makes perfect sense, but given the state of the video game industry and the world in which we live, it is also good to have it explicitly spelled out. No, we will not be gating off things artificially on the Steam Deck just to try to sell that platform. So, yeah, that's a good thing. I don't know. Have you just talking about having a little money these days? Have you thought about doing a Steam Deck? Because you don't have like a game PC, and that could
Not
be like
really, to be honest.
No,
it's just it hasn't really. There's no real good reason for me to do it. I don't play enough PC games to care, or at all really.
Yeah.
And every game that I tend to buy, I have all three like current console systems.
Right.
I have the Switch, I have the Xbox Series X, I have the PS5, and they all have enough games on it to last me fucking this generation. Like I don't really need to play Phasmophobia on the go or something kind of thing. Like it's just there's no real reason. Like all the games that I would be interested in that are PC only, I would be better off just buying a PC to play.
Yeah, that's true. Plus, owning an actual PC would be good for like other things as well.
Yeah, so I have a PC. It's not like I don't own a computer or something. It's just that I don't own a computer that's like designed for playing games that are to make it as strong as what I currently have on my systems.
Sure,
except for the Switch, because the Switch is not that strong to begin with.
I was talking with somebody about this. The longer the time goes on, the fewer things you need a PC to play.
Really,
like unless you want like early access games or like porno mods or something.
Even PC ports. Even the PC ports of a lot of the big games haven't been great lately. Because they're more focused on making it work on a console than they are a PC.
Yeah, especially if you don't have the ability to buy one of those new RTX cards, right? With the, like ray tracing and stuff.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Like the best thing about PC games that I will never ever fight anybody on is that the mods.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone Tuesday, and they were telling me about that they had just discovered one of the more famous mods of Dark Souls, which is the one where it basically turns it into Pokemon. So I don't remember which Dark Souls it is, but there's a mod that basically instead of you being able to attack people, you now have a beast from it that you use to fight the other beasts, and you can't do damage. Only the beasts can.
That sounds about right.
And so you can they let you capture them. Like that's the thing. They're like it's so insanely creative.
Yeah.
That like you could never do something like that on a console. And the same with Minecraft and stuff. Like I look at Minecraft. Like when you found that one where they made the entirety of Castlevania 1
Yeah.
in Minecraft.
Yeah.
And you can just download it and put it on your game. Like you can't really do that with a console.
No.
Like it's just
I guess Bethesda tried with the stupid workshop stuff on
but some of the
Skyrim,
coolest mods don't involve like stuff like that. Sometimes a guy just wants to run around with a lightsaber fighting a giant Macho Man Randy Savage dragon in Skyrim, and they're not going to sell any of that stuff because all that stuff's copyrighted.
What was the last one? Was like all the stuff for Lady Dimitrescu and Resident Evil Village. Or no, Baby Head Chris and Chris Headed Baby.
Oh yeah,
those are the best mods that have ever happened. Is Baby Headed Chris and Chris Headed Baby.
There was the fly swatter knife where people were just spanking Lady Dimitrescu.
Oh yeah,
on the PC version.
My favorite mod for Lady Dimitrescu was the one that was like. Well, there were two that I really liked. One was
the mom jeans one.
It was the mom jeans. Yeah, that turns her into like the Karen. But then there was another one where it was like, every time you look at her hat doubles in size.
Oh God, I remember that one.
So
Yeah.
just like every time she comes through a door, her hat just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and like
there's so many porn mods for that game, guys. It's fucking unreal. People are fucking ridiculous.
I'm afraid to look. Let's see. Next up in other Steam news, apparently Capcom Arcade Stadium is like in the top 5, like top 3 Steam games.
What the fuck?
So the reason. I thought this was just a fun thing. This is a weird news week. The reason is because on November 11th, they added Steam trading cards to the game. It is a free-to-play game that has Steam trading cards in it, so bots that farm cards because cards have a real money value. You can actually sell cards in Steam to card collectors. Like the cards that you get for playing games in Steam, you can put them on a Steam marketplace and you can sell them for money. That money just can't be taken out of Steam. Like you can use it to buy other things in Steam. You just can't. So people will pay real world money for the cards. The money just doesn't leave the Steam ecosystem. So then you can because I remember one time a long time ago, I put like all my cards up for just like whatever the minimum price was. And I got like $10 and I was like, okay, well I can buy in like an expansion for $10, right?
Yeah.
Like, but there are bots that'll do this horse shit. And as soon as they added cards to this thing, and it is a free-to-play game, it suddenly shot up to like... It had like... I think that they said before that they use that users on Steam, that was like 50 consecutive users. And then like in late November, it went up to number 3 on the entire listing of the Steam because the bots just invaded to harvest the cards as fast as they could.
Good for Capcom, I guess.
I don't know if it really does anything because it's not like the bots were buying any of the additional games.
I guess that's true too.
They were just freely downloading it and running it for hours to generate the cards. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, kind of crazy. 400,000 players.
Oh my God.
So yeah, take that, Battlefield 2042. This is really just the crapping on Battlefield 2042 podcast.
Those
this
poor
week.
guys. I need to add cards to Steam is what they're saying.
Yep. Let's see. In other bot news, Twitch is apparently going to have some bots running some kind of AI assist tools that are going to be trying to find people that are attempting to circumvent bans. So apparently, these Twitch, not bots really, they're more like just an AI. It's a tool called Suspicious User Detection that will be used to flag incoming users as likely or possible ban evaders. So like if you ban someone from your channel and they're trying to come back in, I don't know what this is based on. I mean,
it's probably based on the speech pattern, probably.
Yeah, or I guess it could be something about hardware IDs, like if it seems like they're using a spoofed hardware ID or if there's any way to identify that or whatever. So if you're likely, apparently if you come into a channel, you will not be able to communicate with the channel. All your messages will just be like flagged, and the streamer and their admin team will be notified like, hey, this is a potential person, and then they can make the decision about whether to like let them chat or not. If you are a possible case, then apparently you will be able to chat, but you will still have all of your message kind of like pre-flagged with kind of just like a notation to the mod team and the streamer saying like this person could be a problem, and so that if they want to, they can just kind of hit a button to like roll them up and get them the fuck out of the channel.
Yeah.
This is probably obviously in due to the big hate raids that were happening earlier this year.
So many of them, apparently.
But it's good to see Twitch do something that's not fucking turning off people's stream for copyrights or creating a new channel for animals or taking Amaranth's gas station away or whatever the fuck is going on.
I don't know what any of half of those things mean.
One of the lady streamers on Twitch that's like one of the more popular people, she bought like a gas station, and apparently it's like to try to like avoid paying taxes by like investing the money into like a business, and then apparently there's a problem with that. I don't fucking know. I don't keep up with that.
That's so fucking weird.
I don't keep up with this nonsense.
Did she put penguins in it?
No. Yeah, she had to repair all the penguins with the blowtorch at the gas station. No. So yeah, this is good. This is actually rolling out. I think it's already rolled out, to be honest. Yeah, they're about to roll it out. They just announced it on their blog. So yeah. Good stuff.
So strange.
Good stuff. I mean, I like at least the fact that like half the stories we have this week are about like teams using AI or specific tools to try to like keep bad behavior to a minimum, which
this is how Skynet starts, by the way. It learns only about bad people and then just goes, just kill them all. Well, you can't ban them all, so just kill them all.
What was
That's
that
fine.
thing? That was like years ago, right? When they made that like chat AI and put it on the internet, it was racist within like an hour.
Yeah,
like within an hour, they turned it into a Nazi. Like
it didn't take very long. Like that's the most unrealistic part about Transformers 1,
right?
Where they're like, we learned how to speak based on the internet. It's like, yeah, but you haven't said you're gonna fuck my mom, Optimus, like once.
Yeah,
this was that time frame. By
that's
the way.
How you say hi on the internet.
This was the style at the time. But yeah.
Yeah. Let's see from there. Speaking of bots, this is a silly thing. I don't know if you saw this, but I have mixed feelings about this. So apparently, we all know the bots are out there and they're buying up the PlayStations and shoes and fucking
all the things,
Matrix movie tickets, fucking whatever,
all them Spider-Man tickets or
whatever. So there's a group of Democrats that are reintroducing, I should say, it's a proposal that was introduced in 2018, 2019. And then it was kind of just like thrown away because like in 2019, I don't think this was quite as much of a problem because you were dealing with like Supreme merchandise and like fucking shoes and shit.
It was a fairly it was never that much of an issue when people could just go out and buy these things easily.
Right.
And then
the 2020 happened.
Yeah.
This is Paul Tinoco, Richard Blumenthal, Chuck Schumer, Ben Ray Lujan introduced a bill on November 29th to apparently try to crack down. It is called the Stopping Grinch Bots Act.
That's a dumb name.
Yeah. Well, apparently, I mean, this is the fucking United States government. They're all fucking old white guys. They don't know jack shit. They're just like, their grandkids are like, I want a PlayStation, but I can't buy one. And they're like, oh, the Grinch is going to come. We should stop those Grinches with our anti-Grinchin Act. Maybe their hearts will grow 5 sizes.
And then they'll die from their hearts growing too fast.
From a massive coronary. That's my United States Senator voice, by the way.
It's perfect, though. That's how they all talk.
So...
including the women.
This is actually interesting because this is a similar act to... I didn't actually know this, but in 2016, they passed another act called... It's based on this one for 2016 called the Better Online Ticket Sales Act, which Obama signed into law that was basically trying to stop ticket sales from this exact same thing happening. And it basically created a pipeline where if you were found to be buying tickets using a bot and then scalping them online, you could be fined up to $16,000 per infraction.
Oh, wow.
As a way to just be like, no, we would like people to be able to buy things in a regular human way without having to use the fucking Terminators to buy shoes. Like, you should be able to buy shoes without having to run a script. You don't need to run JavaScript to buy fucking, Metallica tickets, right? Like,
I didn't know that was it. I didn't know that was happening.
Yeah. Well, when was the last time you went to a concert? Or tried to buy something through like Ticketmaster?
Well, that's true. Also, I guess it's not working very well because apparently that's still a thing as far as I know.
Yeah. This is based on this about, here's the thing. I don't know I thought a lot about this, and on the one hand, I'm like, this is pretty good. Like, or like, I would like somebody to try something to stop this. On the other hand, it's like, are you really going to make law enforcement go to somebody's house and drag them into court to find them because they bought a PlayStation and then sold it to somebody else for a markup? Like I get that, like, that might deter scammers, but on the other hand, it seems like an awful lot of like taxpayer money going to make sure that you can buy a PlayStation. And it's not like, okay, listen.
No, it's exactly, no, it makes perfect sense. It's like, it's one of those things where it's like, it makes sense on paper,
right?
But how do you enforce something like this,
right,
without making it stupid?
This to me is a lot like Josh Hawley's anti-loot box act that they wanted to put in, where it's like, I get where you're coming from.
Yeah,
people are complaining about this. Nobody likes this situation. Trust me, nobody fucking likes this situation. But like the idea of making it, the other question is like, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to try to phrase this as neutrally as humanly possible. But like, we think that at some point the supply chain will be worked out. COVID will go either into the background of just like, it's like the flu and you got to deal with it every year. Things will eventually settle to a point where like you can go to a Best Buy and buy a PlayStation. Like at some point that has to be a thing that happens, right? We can't live in a world where like if you want anything, you've got to be like refreshing. You got a Google alert that starts screaming bloody murder because Walmart restocked PlayStation, so you could run to a fucking computer and frantically typing your password to try to buy an Xbox online, right? Like there has to be a certain point where, I mean, even if the scalpers continue to do this nonsense, and even if people are buying it from the scalpers, there has to come to a point of saturation where, like, the people that are willing to pay scalper prices have already purchased the console, and the people that are not willing to pay scalper prices are not willing to purchase the console. And so, like, at that point, the scalpers will no longer have any reason to continue to do this because they'll just be sitting with fucking garages full of PlayStations and nobody will buy them, and they'll be out the money that they spent on them, right?
Yeah, because the reason it tends to work the best for stuff like you said, like shoes and all those things, because a lot of those are limited.
Yeah,
like the Kanye West Yeezy, whatever the fuck they're called,
right,
kind of thing, or even Amiibos, even in that sort of way.
Yeah,
like they're all limited. It's not that they constantly are making million. Like it's not why. It's why like Skylanders and Disney Infinity wasn't really having this issue,
right?
Because they made so many of them. They had 1,000 Hulks or millions of Hulks in a warehouse.
Yep.
Like that's the reason that wasn't being scalped. The reason scalping is working on these is purely because it's. Yeah, there's not enough of them out there.
Manufacturing issue. Yeah,
no, there's just not enough of them out there.
Like it's not like Sony's going to stop selling PlayStation 5s. It's not like Microsoft's going to stop selling Xboxes. In fact, I think that Microsoft and Sony would love nothing more than to be able to manufacture enough of these things so that they could put them on store shelves and then just have them immediately sell out and then stock more tomorrow and have them immediately sell out. Like you want the money, right?
Yeah.
Like not being able to stock these things means you can't get the fucking money, and that's what they want is the money. So like
what they want besides that is they need the hardware or software sales,
right?
Because if too many scalpers have all the hardware, there's not enough people buying the software because of it, and they want that just as much as everybody else does.
So yeah, I mean, like on the one hand, I would like to see this shit not happen anymore. I mean, like I'll be honest, if you really wanted to crack down on this stuff, you'd just be like, all right, when we find somebody with a garage full of PlayStation 5s, we're just going to drag him out in the street and beat the fuck out of him, put it on TikTok.
Just going to break his legs.
Yeah. And then we're just going to go, the next person we find, we're going to go to their house. We're going to fucking drag them out in the street, beat them up, put it on TikTok, and be like, the sentence of hoarding PlayStations is you get dragged out into the street and beaten up and put the fuck online. Now, doesn't really work. There's a huge amount of problems involved with that. But
there's a lot of problems in that, but it would be fun for at least for a little bit.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of schadenfreude. You have to use German words to describe the pleasure of watching somebody trying to keep you from buying a toy to play video games on, being hurt in a way that you want to laugh at. But
it's just there's no good deterrent against it outside of nuking the internet.
Either that or again, you could try to prosecute these people and
it would just
stiff
take
fines
so much
on them.
work, though.
But yeah, the other thing is like, I don't know, let's say like if I had, I don't, but let's say that I had like 3 brothers and I was like, oh shit, Target got a restock. I want to buy 3 PlayStations and give them all to my brothers for Christmas. Like, they haven't been able to get them, and I just managed to get in, and I got 3 of them. And then a fucking knock at the door, and the cops drag me out in the street and fucking break my legs and put it on TikTok. And it's like, I was buying them for my brothers. They were Christmas presents, you assholes,
You
right?
monsters.
Like, so, there are problems involved. Or getting dragged into court and fined $16,000 per PlayStation when it's just like, these are gifts, motherfucker. And they'd be like, no, we know your game. You're going to sell them on eBay.
We studied your move, Sonya Blade.
I don't know that there's a good way to do this.
There's no real good way. The problem is the people who are doing it are not going to tell on themselves, and the retailers don't have time to tell on these people.
Actually, to be honest, I don't know if that's true anymore. I think that if you don't publicly say that you're like arresting people and like finding them, I've seen a number of people where these fucking asshole groups are just like, yo, bro, check it out. I got like 12 PlayStations here in my garage. Here I am on fucking Instagram, like showing you all the shit. Stupid suckers are going to pay. I mean, people. The internet.
Well, I mean, like, if there was an actual thing, though.
People rat themselves out on the internet all the fucking
time.
The thing is,
it hasn't happened yet, so that's the difference.
Because it's not against the law, right?
It's not. So they don't have a reason to. They don't have a reason to hide from it.
Yeah.
The people who get the most of them will stop doing it, but the dumbasses will definitely still do it.
Yeah. So I doubt one.
Like
I doubt
that guy
this
who
is...
had all the hand sanitizer.
Oh yeah.
Who got completely fucked.
I got good. I don't know if this passes. Even if it does, I don't think law enforcement is going to be like out there fucking. I mean,
they might. It could be easy for them.
You have to create a whole NCIS like fucking cybercrime division because you'd have to
get
like
Scott Bakula to do it.
Prove that.
Wait, no, he's on the New Orleans one.
This eBay user is this person who posted about this on Facebook, and then like we got to drag him into court over the next year to find them, and like meanwhile they just keep fucking scalping them. Like, I don't know. Anyway,
and then the money stacks, and then they get all the fines, and then they can't pay it because they got arrested.
Speaking of bots, I think this is our last bot story for this week. Apparently, Amazon's greatest source of bad news, New World, is just full of bots that are doing nothing but like harvesting the resources, which is like a player-run economy. So like. I saw a video of somebody that was just like, look, and they like went out in the forest and they found that there were just like areas where there were people standing stone still. And the difference was that like there were just no resources in a big circle because they were standing in a place where like ore would spawn. And then as soon as it spawned, those bots would just like grab it and 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 grab it. There's some screenshots of just like fishing spots in the game. Where like you could just see like a whole shitload of bots just lined up.
Oh my god.
Just like fishing the same fishing spot.
So many of them.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And it's like it's kind of fucking up the player economy.
I was expecting like 3 or 4, but it's literally like a crowded, like as if it's like a concert.
Yeah.
Amount of people.
Yeah, just all fishing simultaneously. Yeah, and apparently it's like ruining the economy in the game, which is a big thing because it's like a player economy. So
I
like
heard the economy was so fucked that people were just bartering because it was easier.
Yeah.
Or it was better to do.
No, there's a story when I talked with Bryce about last week where it was like they had a problem where the server gave people money like a gift because of outages, but it ended up giving them like too much, like with a decimal point in the wrong place, and then those people immediately spent that money on like trade goods, and so they couldn't like take the money away from them because they had spent it immediately, and so they literally had to like roll the server back to yesterday's game state and just fucked everybody's progress for like 24 hours.
Christ.
To not fuck up their economy.
Man, Amazon, you fucking...
Yeah.
Oh, even when you win, you fail horribly.
Yep. It doesn't seem great. Let's see. In other MMO news, apparently some of the devs behind DC Universe Online are working on a Marvel MMO.
Meh. Well, the DC Universe one is kind of boring, to be honest. Like, I tried 3 times to get in that game.
Yeah.
When it first came out, I tried it on PC, and then when I got a PlayStation 3, I tried it on that.
Yeah.
And then I tried it again on the PS4 because it was on there. And I was like, man, I just don't fucking like this.
Yeah. Well, Yeah, I don't know. So you're probably not going to like this. Apparently, this is being run by Jack Emmert, who is in charge of DC Universe Online. But before that, he helped to design City of Heroes.
People liked City of Heroes, though.
Yep. And co-founded Cryptic Studios. So apparently, like, this is just in the very early days. It's kind of long-term. It seems like it's looking for probably like 2023, 2024. Who knows, though? Maybe they'll take all the lessons that they learned from DC being a boring game and then like make it into not boring game.
The main issue I've always had with the DC with MMOs that take place in like giant IPs is that it's always like, well, you can like kind of be that kind of guy, but you're never going to be the guy.
Like, make your own hero in the Marvel universe. And you're like, no, I want to be fucking Venom. Like,
yeah, I want to be Spider-Man and swing around. And it's like, cool, you can hang out with them if you want.
Yeah.
And they'll say the same thing 4 times.
Yep.
And I'm like, I want to be Superman. It's like, but you can hang out with Superman.
Yeah.
And it's going to be Adam Baldwin Superman, who everybody hates now. It's like, what's happening?
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see. We'll see. This is, yeah. I mean, this is being made. We'll see what happens. I mean, Marvel's really like expanding out. It kind of sounds like, well, I guess this is as good a transition as
I
any.
just miss Marvel Heroes, to be honest.
We got the war table for Avengers for the holiday content, which is basically just like, hey, we made a raid and also Spider-Man is here. You have to explain this to me, Michael. The Spider-Man seems like there were some cutscenes.
Yeah, there are cutscenes with Spider-Man in it.
It's just not a full-fledged like.
It's not like the Hawkeye one where like there's story mode. They're like you get cutscenes for every like mission you do. Like when you start, there's the like they did that not animated, but that trailer where it was like a bunch of stills and him being like, I'm Spider-Man and I'm hanging out with all these people.
Right.
Like that plays first, and then after that, there's an actual cutscene. Like the way you get Spider-Man is that you go to the You go to the helicarrier, you look out the window, and there's like a web attached to the window.
Right.
And then so he crawls onto the window, and they're like, "Hi, I'm Spider-Man. Could you let me in or whatever?" And then there's a small cutscene where he's like, "This is the thing that I'm up to. Could you guys help me or whatever?" They're like, "Maybe." And then they walk off, and then it's just you have Spider-Man, and there's a bunch of challenges that you can do. And if you do the challenges, you can get the iconic suit, but it also gives you a bunch of like the collectible audio logs. And the audio logs, for the most part, as far as I can tell, because I haven't gotten around to it since I tried them out on Tuesday.
Yeah.
They're all, as far as I can tell, the audio logs are the main parts of the story.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if there's any cutscenes after that first one yet.
It seems like there's a few.
I'm sure there's some. I just haven't, like I said, I haven't gotten to them yet.
They also announced the Claw raid.
Which the raid apparently is the end of the War for Wakanda story part.
Okay.
So that's actually apparently what's going on with that.
They're up in like the max level to 175 or something like that.
The max level before, I think it was 150.
Yeah.
And like the majority of the people got to it already. Like I got to it on most of my heroes. And so a lot of people were just like, we need more reasons to keep playing this game.
Right.
And they changed the gear too.
Yeah.
Gear is completely different. The resources are completely different, kind of. Because you remember before, to upgrade something, you needed, it's like, well, you need 10 of this one, 5 of this one, and like 3 of this one or something.
Right. It's all the same. It's all the same thing.
Yeah. It's now all just like, you just need this specific thing.
Right.
Because I guess people were having a hard time I had a hard time keeping those levels of like the amount I needed every time.
One of the things they also said is that you can basically take like any gear up to a certain level and like it can be upgraded all the way to max level now. So like if you had gear that worked well, because it used to be you can only upgrade like 5 or 10 times or something like that, but now you can just upgrade infinity.
Yeah, because there's a lot of things where people would find something that's really good. Like say it's like, I have one, for instance, that I couldn't get past a certain point that was really good for me, which is like your health regeneration was like 200% higher using the Hulk's rage thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, this thing is fucking great, and it also had like his heroic like charged faster, like all these things, but I couldn't find anything that was better than it.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get to his max level because of it, and so people have been asking for ages, like, look, we have these really cool stats. and we have all these like things that we want to keep, but we can't do anything with them because they had this whole like they have like a vault where it's like, oh, you have too many things, just put it in the vault. But there was no reason to put anything in the vault because you couldn't.
What are you gonna do with it? Like my Hulk's already level fucking 80. Like
and all the gear that I really wanted to keep is only like level 50, and I can't get it to, and I can't keep using it. So what's the point? So they finally have been working on a way of making that vault useful, kind of thing. And I more want to, hoping I can use it for some of my heroes that have stuff like that.
I realized when watching this video that I no longer have any interest whatsoever in Avengers. So I did want to ask, what does all this mean for? Actually, I also realized as I was speaking that I've never been on a raid, and I don't want to. Raids, the whole idea of like a multi-part dungeon that's also like really complicated, that you have to do a bunch of puzzles to figure it out, to open the door, to get to the next thing, and I'm just like, I do not fucking want to do that. Like, that sounds horrible to me.
It's the very first raid, as far as I know. The closest thing to a raid before that, it was called the Avengers Level Threat, I think was the name of it. Yeah. It was the Omega Level Threat, and all it was the Kate Bishop final level, but like at essentially max difficulty, and that was all it was.
What do you think about this? What do you think about these updates?
I think it's good because it means that they're listening, that they have been listening to the player base, but they didn't know how to do what they needed to do, and they were just constantly trying to figure, because that's the thing, is that this game just needed rework, a lot of rework, and it shows that they've been listening, and they're trying to do the reworking, but they weren't sure what to do.
Right.
And it also, I think to me, it proves that they are optimistic at adding more content to it. Because that was the thing a lot of people were worried about. It's like, well, what happens with the content after Spider-Man comes out? And after this happens, like, will they just stop making things? But if they rework the entire gear system, that shows that they've put a lot of work into this thing, and they want it to keep going at. So I'm hopeful that like maybe next year we'll get like a really big like roadmap that has a bunch of stuff on it that's like, hey, Captain Marvel is coming, or that sort of thing, because there's plenty of characters that got data mined ages ago that have voice lines and everything that they found of people talking to them, of the current Avengers, so that there's plenty of stuff they can still do from here. So
let's see. I think that actually, Michael, this is just the Michael part of the podcast, because now we got Halo trailers. So, did you see this Forever We Fight live action trailer?
I was going to, but I was working.
It's really weird. So it's like, it starts with like this like sheep herder, and he's like herding his sheep, and there's like a bunch of like wolves out in the distance, and then it like cuts over to like World War I, and like there's a guy that's trying to like keep this other guy alive, and there's like fighting outside, and there's this lady, and he's like, I just need more time, and then like the lady picks up the gun, and it's like a person in water being rescued, and then it's like a lady in a spaceship going through a thing, and then it's like, and so then it goes over to Master Chief, and it's like, oh, Master Chief is fighting, but then it flashes back to like, and so is the goat herder, and so is the lady in the house, and so is the person in the water, and so is that lady going through hyperspace. They're all fighting. We're all fighting. And I'm like, what does Master Chief have to do with like a goat herder? It's really weird.
That's the funniest thing about Halo trailers, is especially after Bungie stopped doing them, was that like they weren't really sure how to do the like the way Halo 3s were, because Halo 3 and ODST I think have the best of all
Halo 3
of the Halo trailers.
The little miniature model.
Yeah, there was the miniature ones, but they also had the trailers done by fucking Neil Blomkamp.
Oh,
who did all those those live action ones, or like one of them was like they needed to figure, like it was a bunch of soldiers trying to scan something that was supposed to be Master Chief coming down from space and stuff. Like he actually got injured doing that one. Like apparently like he fucked up something while driving a Warthog. Like, or while being in a Warthog while filming, and he's like, I'm the only person who's ever literally been injured while doing Warthog kind of thing. And then there's the ODS trailer. That's just, the ODST trailer is like fucking perfection.
Yeah.
Like if you guys have ever if you ever get a chance, look up the live action ODST trailer, because it's enough to be like, this should just be a movie kind of thing. It's so good. But ever since then, they've been like kind of grasping at straws of figuring out what to do with Halo trailers, especially live action wise.
This is fine and everything. It's just like, I just don't know this idea. It's just like, wow, we've always fought, and I'm like, okay, well, I get that, man. Like,
it's just a weird way of showing it. Yeah,
between the like goat herder and the World War I lady, and then but then the other two, it's like, well, the person dragging the person out of the water isn't fighting, and the lady in the spaceship going like hyperspace, she's not like fighting anything. Like, what we see Master Chief doing is literally shooting people, and like, that's fighting. Like, driving a spaceship is not. I mean, I'm not trying to like split hairs here or be like pedantic or anything, but that's not like fighting.
Like, I get what it's trying to do, but the issue is that like, a lot of it's not real.
Yeah,
kind of thing. Like, it's like, sure, I just said all those other live action trailers are great, but they made you feel like everything was very real.
Yeah.
Where for some reason, like, a lot of these trailers don't really feel like they know what to. Like, they don't understand the assignment correctly. like they read it and they're like, I think I understand this, and then they come out with the trailer and you're like, this doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, I don't know. It was really weird. I just watched it. Because the thing is that when you start watching it, like it's a 2-minute and 20-second trailer, and the first like 45 seconds are like this goat herder and his brother in the fucking around a campfire, and he's like walking out slowly with a torch, like looking at sheep, and then there's like eyes growling out in the thing, and you're like, I clicked on Halo, motherfucker. What am I looking at? I didn't click on goat herder simulator or
I'm
sheep
curious
herder,
what the comments are saying, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know. The dislike button's finally turned off, so like I don't know. I don't like it when YouTube channels just like watch a thing and then read the comments like sick dunks. Like, you find the comments that you agree with and you're just like, look at what this person said.
I like the third comment. The first two weren't fighting; they were being suicidal.
I don't know. No, it's like, I don't know. It's weird. It's a very weird one. I actually quite more enjoyed the launch trailer that they put out.
I also didn't get a chance to see this because I was working.
I don't think that this has any. This is a lot of the stuff that we've already seen. I feel like it has that line with Master Chief where who's the new AI? Do you remember the name of the new AI?
I think it's just called Weapon or something like that. Something real generic, but
where he like dives into it's got that one brute that's all just like, we will take control of this ring and then we will destroy Earth, and they've got that. Admittedly, it's a really good line where he like is in that ship with the dude that's piloting his ship. And the guy is like, what's going on? Everybody seems to want to kill you. And the AI is like, they really do.
I'm such a big fan of Master Chief because he's just Space Captain America.
Yeah.
But and I just can't help but love him for that reason.
Yeah. There's not a lot more going on in here than a lot of the other trailers, but it's got, it's a good action montage. I actually find myself kind of looking forward to this one.
I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm not a fan of the multiplayer, but the single player looks like they're doing something genuinely different than I've ever seen in Halo before. So
yeah, it's very similar to like the Fallout formula.
Yeah.
But the Fallout formula with Halo sounds fucking rad.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
The Fallout formula, but with like a good FPS engine behind it.
Yeah. That, and I can't help but love the fact that Master Chief looks like Master Chief for the first time in a long ass time.
I don't understand that one because I'm not of the same level of fan that you are. But
well, if you look at what he looked like when 343 first took over, they like super complicatedly made his armor.
Uh-huh.
Like, because before it was like the way it looks right now, that's what it always looked like from Halo 2 onwards.
All right.
Whereas when Halo 4 came out, they're like, what if we made the armors look like it was like the way the Transformers are in the Bay films. It's like looking at an 80s Transformers character and the Bay version of them. Okay. Where you're like, there's just so much going on in this version of Optimus compared to like the fairly normal truck looking Optimus, if that makes sense.
I get it. I can see that.
Which is exactly why I'm like, he looks exactly the way I wanted him to for quite some time.
Just like big slabs of green.
He's everything's very like it would be easy to make a cosplay out of kind of thing.
Sure.
Whereas you look at the Halo 4 one and it's so overly complicated. You're like, fuck, man, how did you make that?
I also have been really like, it's kind of sad to me that like the face modeling on the AI and on the dropship guy are both really good. Yeah. But like everybody else is either a fucking inhuman alien or like wearing a helmet. It's like, God damn it. You have all these like super emotive faces and I can't fucking see them. Yeah, so that's good. But Michael, I know. Well,
Speaking of trailers, guys, I haven't seen the new It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and I was just reminded that is probably on Hulu by now.
oh, they just keep putting trailers in front of these game trailers that we're watching for Sunny. They're just like,
and I'm like, I need to
blasting it.
I was gonna watch it because I was literally in my apartment because I took lunch really late at my job, and I was like, there's something I was supposed to watch during lunch.
Tomorrow,
and I forgot.
though, right?
No, it started yesterday.
Thursday, and then on Fridays.
It started on the 1st, and today's the 2nd.
Oh, okay.
And so it's on Hulu. It should be on Hulu right now while we're recording this. So I'm going to watch that as soon as I get home.
I know what somebody's doing when they go home. Okay, well, speaking of Xboxes, we got a whole... this goes back to what I was saying before. Apparently, there's just a shitload of games coming to Game Pass in December.
Really?
Yeah, so there's one called... Anvil, which just looks kind of like a third-person kind of action-y type of game. Archvale is there's another one coming. Final Fantasy 13-2 is being added to Game Pass. My favorite Final Fantasy of all time.
You talk a really good game about that one.
I do. Lawnmower Simulator, Lawn Mowing Simulator is coming to Game Pass.
Grant's favorite game.
Yeah. Stardew Valley is coming. And all those things that I just said, those are today, December 2nd, the day that we're recording this. Yes. Over the course of the month, there's one called Rubber Bandits. It's a multiplayer online shooter heister thing. Warhammer 40K Battle Sector, which is a turn-based strategy Warhammer 40K game, is coming out. December 7th, Space Warlord Organ Trading Simulator, which from the trailer appears to be exactly those words that I just said, where like you are buying and selling organs to different space warlords in like a weird pixel thing.
That's so weird.
Yeah. Halo Infinite on the 8th. December 9th has One Piece Pirate Warriors 4. December 14th, Aliens Fireteam Elite is coming to Game Pass. Among Us, the same day. And yeah, that appears to be what we know right now. So just like, blah, man.
Shit,
like
is Halo next week?
Yeah. Halo, today is the 2nd.
Oh my God. It's
next Wednesday is Halo.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, you and I are going to play it.
Shit,
we're going to play Halo on Wednesday. It might not come out until the week after that because there's so many fucking games coming out.
So many games
we're going to play Halo. I would never, actually, I was thinking, Michael, why don't you sit this one out? I'll have Grant come and play Halo with me and complain about how it doesn't make any sense.
He'll love to talk about it. Yeah, he's going to talk about how great the brutes are.
Yeah.
He's going to talk about Fruit Brute, probably.
Yep, probably. It's just going to be a whole Fruit Brute thing the entire time.
I'm probably going to bring up Fruit Brute now.
Yeah. We also got the December PlayStation Plus lineup, which for the PS5, Michael's favorite game, Godfall. The Challenger edition of Godfall.
Ooh.
We'll be back to that in just a moment. For the PS4, we're getting DC Supervillains and Mortal Shell, which Mortal Shell is good.
That's not bad, actually.
DC Supervillains is good. Mortal Shell is good. Godfall is Godfall. Like, if that's the sort of game that you're into. But the weird thing is that you notice that Godfall is the Challenger edition, right?
What does that mean?
I don't understand this. What it means is that when you get the Challenger edition, you get to fully unlock and maximum level with maximum equipment one of the shells in the game. Like one of the like warframes, whatever the fuck they call them.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they call them.
Thereby completely destroying the progression of Godfall. Like, and their reasoning seems to be like, okay, so now you can play with your high tier friends who have been playing Godfall for a long time, but it's like, right, so you're going to give people in an online looter shooter game where you're supposed to play it for the loot, max character with max loot. Like, this doesn't make any sense, you guys. Like,
the thing is, like, okay, I get the idea, but the problem is normally you don't max it out.
Yeah.
Normally, like, you do like a specific level.
Yeah.
Like, is it because there's like an expansion coming out that has a higher max? Because that's the only thing that makes sense. Because that's what happened with Destiny when I don't remember which Destiny which expansion was, but one of the Destiny expansions came out. And it's like, well, you can buy it, and then you could level up one of your characters to be enough to do the end game thing or whatever the expansion was.
This is
like literally like all of the level.
Yeah.
Like maxing it out, which is ridiculous.
So I think that there are a bunch of different, I can't forget what they're called, warframes in this game, right? I think you get to do this to one of them.
Though.
And then I think it unlocks all of the other ones, so you don't have to grind for materials to unlock them. And I think that their thinking is that then you can pick one, you can unlock all of them, you can play with them, you can decide which one you want to max out one of them, so you can play in-game raids with the player base that's still playing Godfall, and then you can go back if you like it and level up the other ones for later.
The screams of Randy Pitchford desperation.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this game will last another year before it gets fully shut down. Or they'll have
like what was the name of it?
Battleborn.
Battleborn.
Yep. Like Battleborn.
Those poor bastards.
What's funny is that when I watched the trailer for this, I'm like, I don't know, the graphics are fine. Like, it looks pretty good.
Well, the game's always looked really good. It's just that there's so many games out, and
I don't have any interest in playing it.
There's a lot of free-to-play games and a lot of like these types of looter-type shooters that people really like at the moment.
Yeah,
that it's difficult to get into that market.
Plus, we live in a world where like, I'm no longer going to play a game just because it looks good. I will gladly play a game that looks like shit if it's more fun than a game that looks really good. So, yeah. So, Godfall, what the fuck are you doing? That's stupid.
Good luck, Godfall.
Let's see. From there, oh, you know what? There was a 7-minute fucking circle jerk about Starfield where there's no actual additional information. It's just like Todd Howard and people standing around talking about
how... Does it end with Todd Howard saying, and then Skyrim's going to be in it?
You know what? I don't know, because I was watching all of the news stories today, and this one was 7 minutes long of fucking listening to Todd Howard flap his gums, and I decided to save it for last, and then forgot to go back and watch it. So I don't fucking know.
Yeah, it seems to be a lot of them just being like, we're making the game, and here's some like stuff that we have on it.
Here's some stuff you've already seen. Here's some more concept art. Like, my God, guys, you must start showing us this game.
The issue is a lot of the stuff they're showing still comes down to like, and here's the other games we made.
Right. I don't want to listen to Todd Howard talk about video games. All right. I will, though, watch this. Warframe has a cinematic trailer for this expansion that's coming up called The New War. I actually watched some of this. It's really interesting because it's like you're playing as... It's like, okay, in the Warframe universe, there's this new threat that's come in, because it generally there's like a few different factions in the Warframe universe. There's like these like really gross looking guys, and then there's like these kind of like engineer guys, and those tend to be the just creeps that you fight.
Yeah.
And then you have the Tennos. In this one, apparently you play as all three of those different factions. Like, you play as characters that are not Tennos, which is weird because I don't think you've ever done that before.
Yeah, that's interesting.
The problem is that, unfortunately, in order to play this, like, I looked up on their website, and unfortunately, in order to try this new expansion out that's coming out, you have to level up and go through a lot of the existing content in order to get there. This could do with and you can take one Tenno to max level for free. Like, because there are like, I don't know, man, there's like, what, 25 different Warframes that you can unlock in this game.
Warframe's been going on for a long time.
It's actually really, it makes me wonder why the hell anybody would pay for, like, if you just want to play a fun action game with your friends, Warframe is good. Like, it's fun.
There was somebody I talked to ages ago who was just like, hey, of all of the free-to-play games that you should be playing, Warframe is the one that has all of the things you want to do in it.
Yeah. And it looks good. Like, there's next gen versions of it. You can download it right now and play it for free. Like, it's a little daunting. It's a little EVE Online with like, they just kind of want you to play like over and over and over again, but it's pretty satisfying to play. So I don't know, but this new expansion is coming out. I mean, you know, like, part of the prerequisites for playing this new expansion, Michael, were like, you know, unlock your battleship. Staff it with an AI crew, like, build up to level 30 with your battleship. And like, because you remember they added like the whole flying through space and like jumping into a battleship and then blowing it up, like space combat stuff to it. There's a lot going on in Warframe. They added hoverboards and planets, and you go down to planets and fly around on a hoverboard, like in a big open planetary arena.
This is a free game, guys.
Yeah,
the whole thing is free,
100% free. Go play Warframe if you want. Or don't. Or download it and play it for 5 minutes and go, nah, because it's free and you didn't waste any time. Like,
thousands of games out there, guys.
This to me is the opposite of, this is the reason why you shouldn't even download Godfall, is you should download Warframe instead, because it's like Godfall but like not as scummy, and it's got a big
covered
community.
in Randy Pitchford.
Yeah. Let's see. We got the official launch trailer for Solar Ash. I still have absolutely no idea what's happening in Solar
forgot
Ash.
about this game.
This game comes out like tomorrow. It'll be out by the time we we do this podcast. This is a December bullshit, right? Like, what?
Yeah, shit.
The fuck?
Fucking hell.
Yeah. So if you liked Hyper Light Drifter, I don't know. This one looks like it's got a lot of kind of crazy shit going on. Big enemies, a lot of like traversal. And it's out. It's out. By the time you hear this, it's out. So yeah, give it a shot, I guess. Or don't. You do whatever you want to.
I'm not your boss.
Yeah. I am your boss, but it's Casual Friday, so you can do whatever you want.
Hawaiian shirts.
We got a release trailer for Death's Gambit Afterlife. Death's Gambit was that kind of pixely Souls game that came out on the PS4. And Afterlife retools, like, is an expansion that also retools a shitload of like the story and the progression and the mechanics of it. So it is, I believe, a free update that you can get. And if you like Death's Gambit, like, it looks really good. In fact, if you like Death's Gambit, you're probably already playing it. But I thought, wasn't Death's Gambit on PS Plus like sometime this year?
Not that I can think of. I'd have to look again.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised though.
I don't even keep up with that stuff anymore because I buy so many games for the show that, like, it's like, hey, here's Godfall, and I'm like, I spent $70 on Godfall. Thank you very much.
Did you? I don't even remember anybody playing it. Who was on that video?
Matt.
Oh, okay.
It was me and Matt. As if last week's like crossover event wasn't enough, Dead Cells got a DLC trailer for an expansion called The Queen and the Sea, which is kind of it looks like maybe a new boss character and some new types of enemies. Did you see last week they announced the thing where it's like there's skins now for Guacamelee, Hyper Light Drifter, Skelly, Hollow Knight, and Cursed something, where like, and like the Guacamelee one you could turn into a chicken, like all for Dead Cells. You can just play Dead Cells as those characters.
I had no idea.
Yeah, Dead Cells still fucking going real strong. So yeah,
good for them.
That's good. Let's see. We got a trailer for Sons of the Forest, which I had heard about. I didn't actually realize, Michael, that this is the already announced sequel to The Forest, the game The Forest, that came out like in like 2018. It's like a horror
where the guy
game.
got like stuck on the island or whatever.
Yeah, and it's like a horror game where there are like monsters running around.
It's got a weird ending. That was the thing I remember about it.
I don't actually play it.
I just heard it had a weird. I looked up the ending because people kept saying it's got a weird ending, and I just never got around to it. So I looked it up, and it is a weird ending.
Let's try playing it. So yeah, there's a lot. It's just like it's like Minecraft with sex chuds in it. Like, just fucking. I don't know. The longer that it goes on, the more like horribly twisted people things come out, like, that are weird abominations of like crazy people on this island. Like, you grab a head and put it on a spike. I don't know. It looks pretty cool to me. Like, apparently
people really like The Forest, so I'm sure people will really like this too.
Yeah, and it actually came at the end with a release date. It's going to be May of next year, May 20th.
Oh, good.
So not February. Kind of crazy.
Nice.
Yeah. Minecraft got a trailer for the Cliffs and Caves update part 2 that has the big, like, the new, there's like fancy cave biomes and then like worse cave biomes. This is a nifty little like little animated trailer where it shows the two Minecraft characters. One of them's in a cave full of like skeletons, and the other one's like hanging out with little water monsters, zottle things, whatever they're called. Yeah, apparently this does a lot for Minecraft. Like, it adds a lot of new like biome stuff, adds more like taller mountains that have more complexity on the inside and more different like caves and biomes and stuff. So yeah, good stuff. And I think that's the trailers. Yeah, because Caves and Cliffs update came out, so you can get that now. We also got the news that Deep Rock Galactic is coming to the PS4 and PS5 in January of 2022.
Which one was that one again?
It's one where you play as the space dwarves.
Oh,
that
yeah.
are like, you and I played that, I think,
we
right?
played that, yeah.
Where you're like trying to do objectives like in a weird Minecraft-y way, but
There's
like
a lot of cool
hordes
stuff with it. Yeah, it's almost like a Left 4 Dead type thing.
Yeah,
and
it's
I
like
thought that
Left 4
was
Dead
really
meets
cool.
Minecraft with space dwarves.
It was kind of neat.
It was kind of weird. Yeah, it was pretty cool. But yeah, apparently I didn't realize it wasn't already there. But apparently it's coming.
Yeah, for some reason I thought it was. That's interesting. That's good because it looked like it was a really great game because I've seen a lot of Let's Plays for it over the time that the PC version has been out, and it looked really fun if you get enough people for it. So
yeah. We also got news last week that 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim is coming to the Switch next April. So currently, I believe that is a PS4 exclusive.
Okay.
But it's coming to the Switch. This seems like the perfect game to play on the Switch because it's not really very graphically intensive, right?
Yeah.
So it's the latest Vanillaware game, which I liked the story parts of, but then there was like this weird strategy game that you have to play where you have to play it like from this weird map view.
Oh, that's part.
And it kind of sucks. Like I don't really want to play it a lot. So
that's unfortunate.
We also got the news last week that Ghost Runner has an expansion called Project Hell DLC that is launching in January. That is apparently one of the bosses from Ghost Runner. So they're making kind of a 7-mission expansion where you play as one of the bosses. I never actually beat Ghost Runner or got that far in it outside of what I played. I think I played the demo with Bryce, and I think I played with you.
When it finally came out,
when it came out. So
that was really cool.
Yeah. That's coming out.
It's very speedrunny designed.
100%. Let's see. Metroid Dread. The developer of Metroid Dread, Mercury Steam, is apparently working on a dark fantasy action RPG, and apparently it's coming on for multiple platforms. It's codenamed Project Iron. That's kind of all we know at the moment. I'm a little upset by this, even though I haven't finished Dread yet. I got all the way to the end, and then I stopped to catch up with our sequential. I'm a little upset with this because I feel like them working on another project means that there's not going to be like DLC for Dread. Because otherwise, wouldn't they be at this point working on... I guess Mercury Steam could be big enough that they could work on two projects at the same time.
It's difficult to say because they made the Castlevania games, and it got deals. They all got DLC except for the 2D one.
Yeah.
But that one was a very long game to begin with. And then they did Samus Returns. Right?
Oh, right. The 3DS.
And then they did this one. So I don't know. It could go either way is the thing.
Yeah.
I think they're big enough that they could probably do something like that. But who knows? It all depends on what Nintendo asks of them, though.
Yeah, I guess because
it's not up to them.
Nintendo has seemed so DLC happy recently with all of their games that I figured like... I guess I just assumed like as a no-brainer that they would be doing something. But
it's possible, but who knows? It varies is the thing.
All right. A blast from the past, a name that I've not heard in a long time.
Brendan Fraser. Sorry, that's the movie he was in.
We got some potential BioShock 4 information.
The deuce, you say?
Yeah. Cloud Chamber Studios is apparently working on the next BioShock game. There is a potential that this is BioShock 4 or BioShock Isolation. BioShock 4 Isolation. We have a potential logo, and then part of this is like this could be a thing or it could not be a thing. But like the idea is that the design of this is a city where there's like there's like a light city on the top, and then there's like a mirror dark city below, where like the top is like people are wealthy and they run society, and the bottom is like real oppressive and like horrible, and then you flip back and forth between the upper and lower cities in order to go back and forth.
I like the idea of that, but it does make my joke work. The joke that I made a long time ago, where it was like the twist of the game is that it takes place on land.
right. Yes, BioShock 4. It's on land this time. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like, I'm not opposed to making... Like, I liked BioShock 2. I'm not opposed to making non-Ken Levine BioShock games that don't take a fucking 100 years to put out.
To be honest, especially if you do something really creative. Especially something like if this is the thing they're doing, that's a hella creative, and I would love to see something like that.
Yeah. I think that there's a lot of room in this world for An 8 out of 10 BioShock game. I don't need every one of them to be like masterpiece. You've never seen anything like it. Also because I feel like over time, like people flipped on BioShock Infinite real hard. Like
It's because of the themes of it. Like,
Yeah.
the themes of it didn't age very well at all.
no.
And-
Also, I don't know. A lot of people I feel like had problems with the conversion from the vent crawling combat in BioShock to like the just action oriented BioShock Infinite, where it's just like 2 guns and not a lot of.
Also, the ending of Infinite's kind of a letdown. Like the actual like ending parts of it, because you don't even realize it's the end of it.
I was really impressed at the ending, but
Well, the story ending is great, but
Yeah.
I mean like the actual like last thing you do gameplay wise, because it's not really a boss so much as there's just a shit ton of enemies.
oh yeah, when you're
And
on
so
the airship,
you don't even realize
yeah.
it's the end of the game. Like I thought that I ended up saving a bunch of shit because I didn't know it was the end of the game.
Right, because
So-
it just seemed like a combat challenge.
Yeah, so I thought it was like, well, I need all the stuff to survive for whatever the boss is going to be, and then it turns out no, the boss was just a shit ton of things.
That was it.
And then you're like, oh, well, that's kind of like the story ending's fantastic. But I was expecting some like thing, some sort of confrontation of something,
Right.
based on all the other BioShock games.
Yeah.
And you're like, nope, that was the end. I was like, oh, I guess, cool.
Yep.
But it's funny because the city thing reminds me of Chip Zdarsky did a Spider-Man run where there was like, it turns out there was an underground like almost vertical New York City that was run by a different type of thing. So that's what it reminded me of once you said it.
And who knows whether this is like for reals or not. This could be an old concept that's been thrown out at
It's
this
true,
point.
yeah.
But
This could have been somebody's pitch that they ended up never using or something.
Yeah,
but
they just stayed on a hard drive.
who
All
knows?
right, Mike, we have. This is the end where we do the fun stuff. All of my fun stuff this week is all for you.
Oh, okay.
All just for you. So, bad news. We know that Jump Force is going away. Good news. Jump Force is on sale for $6 right
damn.
now. So, if you don't have Jump Force, you can get it on, I believe this is a Steam version, for $6, which is almost one of those things where it's like, I almost just buy it on Steam for the day I get a good computer and I want to play it there instead of somewhere else.
It's really tempting because there's a lot of really fun mods
Yeah.
to Jump Force. Somebody turned the main character to City Hunter into Master Chief. And to the word
Master Chief and Jump Force?
Yeah.
Michael,
So
this is decadent. This is too decadent.
what they did was they not only changed the character model, they made the shotgun his shotgun. They used the sound effects correctly.
Oh, God.
Changed the pistol, made the sound effects correctly. Instead of his car showing up, it's the Warthog showing up for the special or whatever. Like they did the whole fucking 9 yards on it.
Good God.
Like there's a lot of really cool mods for Jump Force that I've seen online, and so yeah, that would be kind of
$6?
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get it before it's gone. You know, I'll remind you. Go get Jump Force for $6. Like, is it the best game? No. Is it worth $6? Yes.
Yeah, $6 is not
$6
bad.
can't even buy me lunch these days. Like, fuck's
Yeah.
sake.
And plus, there's a lot of DLC for it, so go for it.
Yep. All right. My second Michael story. Did you know about the Halo flavored Pringles?
I heard about this, but I didn't look into it.
Yeah, apparently you have to go to Walmart and they're exclusive there, but they're like based on like the Moa burger, which is like the ostrich in the Halo universe.
That's fascinating.
So it's like supposed to be kind of a take on this hamburger in the Halo universe, flavored wavy Pringles. Apparently, from this on Polygon, I actually read an article of this guy who did a review of it, who was just like, they have a lot of different spices on them, and they are flavorful AF. Like,
geez.
like this is not your generic Pringles. This is like,
I forgot about the new Pringles logo, where
Yeah.
they like flattened out all of the fucking interesting things about the Pringles guy.
yeah, he's got a specific name. What was his name? Julius Pringle is the name of the
that his
guy
name?
on the Pringles can. Yeah,
Yeah,
apparently.
they made him super like they really toned down all the detail on him.
Yep.
So now he's just a circle with a very
But the
generic mustache.
Halo Pringles can, he's wearing a little gamer headset.
Yeah.
Julius Pringles
That's kinda neat.
playing Halo. Well, do you think you'll go to Walmart to buy Halo flavored Pringles, Michael?
No, probably not. No,
You don't want to try the hamburger flavored Pringles? I feel like this is right up your alley.
no,
like,
I'm good.
No?
I don't feel like. Oh, it's just because I'd have to go to Walmart.
That's true. I wonder if I can buy them off of Amazon. Maybe I'll buy. I wonder if I buy them off of Amazon if I have to buy like a case. I don't want a case of any flavored Pringles.
You can give them out as Christmas presents.
Oh God, people be like, "No, thank you. What did I do?"
They're like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
All right.
I heard you like Halo. Like Brian Salisbury's like, what? No, I've never said that.
So, all right, Michael, I have one more Halo story for you. I'm curious to know if you already know it. What is the most ridiculous thing that you could make into a Halo thing?
That you can make into a Halo thing?
It's an upscale brand that is making a Halo product.
Hello Kitty.
That is not an upscale brand.
Well, I don't know what upscale brand means, so
this is Swarovski or Svar.
I don't know what that means.
Swarovski, which is like this jeweler that is making like this crystal Master Chief helmet and sword.
Oh my God!
They make like really
high end,
like crystal.
See, products. I never would have guessed that. That's the thing. I'm a poor person. I never would have gotten to that point. Hello Kitty's the fanciest thing I could think of.
Here's the deal. They made a Master Chief helmet. They made a sword fully out of crystal. These are not even the Gucci Xbox. You can't buy these. Like these are like giveaway contest giveaway.
Okay.
So like you can't even spend way too much money on them, which I'm sure they're stupidly expensive. So
absolutely.
But yeah, do you need a really gaudy crystal? If you had the gaudy crystal Master Chief helmet, what would you do with it?
I would put it on. I would display it. And then probably never touch it again.
You'd probably have to spend like $1,000 on the correct display. Like you need like a case, right?
So I probably wouldn't even get a case. It would be like I just put it on like my mantle or whatever the fuck, and just like leave it there and maybe put a light on it.
So like it falls off one day and then it cracks,
and then I'm like, this is worthless, and give it to Goodwill.
Yeah. So that's kind of it. Michael, do you want to answer a quick question?
Yeah,
do a quick question. Let's answer one question.
It's been a while since we've answered a question.
We're a little over, but hell with it. Let's do a question. People keep sending them in. So, in fact, I think I will reward the person who sent in last week. Where is it? Where was that question that came in? I wasn't ready. Oh, geez, Michael. Santa Incorporated is out on...
oh, yeah. That's
the thing. It does not look very good.
It's got Seth Rogen. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah. Shit. I like the way that it proudly just says, like, from the creators of, what was it, Food Fight or whatever the Wiener Party or Sausage Party?
Sausage Party, yeah.
Sausage, which I was like...
I saw that in theaters when it came out.
It was not great.
It's terrible.
It wasn't like the worst thing I've ever seen, but it wasn't not
way
great.
Worse than anything I've ever seen.
I'd imagine so. Jeremy wrote in and said, "Dear Jeff and Michael, first off, I'd like to thank you for previously giving praise to Titanfall 2. I got it several months back as one of the free games on PlayStation Plus. Just played it last week. What a solid, fun title. That I would not have given a chance otherwise. Anyway, my question for you is, are there any games that you enjoyed that were of a genre that you normally don't enjoy? I'm not a fan of RPGs, but as a teen, I really liked the Lord of the Rings, The Third Age for GameCube, and recently the Marvel Strike Force mobile game. Thanks for a decade of content, Jeremy." Rage Select is not a decade old, but I have been doing this for about a decade.
You've been doing it for a long time.
When did Battlefield 3 come out? We can delay.
Fuck, I have no idea.
That was the first one. That was the first Let's Play that Jason and I recorded. That was the first one. So let's see. Battlefield 3, Friendly Fire Will Not Be Tolerated. 2011. So yeah 10 years.
10 years. Yeah.
10 years. So
almost the dot.
Skablamzo. Little over a decade. My God, what have I done with my life?
All the things, apparently. You've been buying Pringles to eat.
You people would not believe the things that I've seen.
Pringles in the rain, they said.
Yes. Julius Pringles in the rain. Okay. Games you enjoyed, even if they were in a genre that you don't normally enjoy.
Oh, I have an easy one for that one. Mario Rabbids.
Okay.
Because you know how I'm not...
You don't do tactics games.
I'm not the biggest fan of tactics games. And I really, really like that game. A lot, actually.
I think for me, let's see. The problem that I have is that I'm not really like I don't like that genre. No, okay, that's not true. That's not true. Overwatch I don't like online multiplayer competitive games anymore.
Oh, okay.
And for about a year and a half there, I was playing over. Like, you know, it was like I would drift away and then they would put out a new character to be like, oh, I got to go see what this new character, like, I got to see how Sombra plays. And then I would go back in, or they'd be like, oh, it's the Halloween update. And I'd be like, oh, I want that skin for fucking McCree. Let me go, or whatever his name is now. Or
Cole Cassidy,
Soldier 76. Like, I'd be like, I want to go get that skin, and I'd be like, I'll just play random and play arcade every week and see what's in the arcade. And then it just all got so serious that I was like, that's the problem, is that Overwatch was fun when it was casual. It's like the glorious 3 weeks after Battlefront 1 came out and all the
oh my god, that was amazing time.
Competitive multiplayer people turned up their nose at it. We're like, this is for babies. And I'm like, yeah, babies.
Yeah, it was.
Let's do this,
when
babies.
Battlefront 1 or the new Battlefront 1 first came out, we played the shit out of that game.
Yep.
Oh my god,
it was fun.
There were so many people I played that game with.
Mm-hmm.
The same with when Overwatch came out. That was the most I ever played.
Like
online
competitive
multiplayer with anybody.
Yeah.
Like even like Randy and people were playing those games. Like even the same with the first Battlefront. Like we were like getting together on like weekends to play this thing because it was so much fun.
Yeah.
And then it got either got too serious or a lot of the times we just, more games came out.
Just wandered off.
We all wandered off and then we never got back to it. The same with Battlefront 2. When Battlefront 2 first came out, I was like, oh, this is kind of fun.
Yeah.
And then I wandered off and never got back to it ever again.
I don't think I've ever really been into a games as a service game. I don't think I've ever really been into
I tried doing Destiny.
Yeah.
But I got bored with it real fast. Avengers is the closest I've gotten to doing it, but it's because I've been playing it on and off, and I just like the way it plays.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've never looked at it as a games for service game and was like and fully immersed myself into it outside of that one game so far. And I think that's the closest thing to an answer for that genre.
Yeah.
Halo Wars is the closest I can get for RTS. RTS.
Yeah.
Even then, I was terrible at it. And I didn't have as much fun as I was hoping I would.
There have been a few racing games over the years that I've liked. Mario Kart, Wipeout XL.
Yeah, I could see those being as counting. Yeah.
Because I normally don't play racing because like you and I were playing Riders Republic, right? And it was like, oh, I missed one turn. So you should start over.
Yeah, we just
because if you
lost.
if you don't just race this race perfectly, it's the reason why I used to kind of like Gran Turismo, but then I just got tired of just doing the same thing over and over again. That's why I like Forza, because it's got the rewind button.
Yeah,
where you can be like, oh, I made a mistake. Let me try that again, as opposed to like start over. Where it's like, no, I don't want to.
I just don't want to do that ever again, kind of thing. Yeah, there's a lot of racing games. I remember back in the day, I used to be really into Need for Speed for some reason.
Yeah,
like the original trilogy of those games. For some reason, I liked those at the time. And then, they got overly complicated, and I got really bad at them.
Burnout 3 Takedown. I really like Burnout 3 Takedown. I wish that in that last grouping of Xbox games that they put out, that they could have put out Burnout 3 Takedown, because Burnout 3 Takedown was on the PS2 and the PS3. It does not emulate correctly on the PlayStation 2, which means you need a physical PS2 to run it. And they will never re-release it because it was one of those mid-2000s games that they loaded the soundtrack with licensed punk rock songs from the late 90s and early 2000s, and they're just not going to pay the money to put that back out again.
Well, they could do it, but the issue is that it's one of those games that if they did it without that music, people are going to be like, it's not the same. That's how I was about the Budokai when they re-released Budokai 1 and 3 for PS3.
Yeah,
the guy who made the music not just before, but a little bit before that came out, was caught for plagiarism. So they were like, we can't use his music anymore. But that music was so ingrained in all of those games that the second you took him out, like, well, now it's just generic nonsense, and this is just not fun anymore.
If Burnout 3 doesn't start with Lazy Generation by the F-Ups, I'm not interested in playing it.
That's why people were so worried about the Tony Hawk one. When the Tony Hawk 1 and 2 came out, they're like, well, what is the soundtrack? Because the
Grand Theft Auto trilogy, right?
All of these games are so ingrained in those soundtracks that without them, like when they re-released Crazy Taxi way after the fact, they couldn't get the Offspring songs anymore. And I was like, well, this game's just boring now, because those Offspring songs for me were like half of the fun of the insanity of what was going on. And that happens a lot with the games that have licensed music. There are shows that can't be re-released because of that reason. The Drew Carey Show cannot be released on DVD for that reason.
I love Daria, but I am not going to watch those versions that they put out where they took out the fucking licensed songs, because it was like part of that show's charm was this whole integration with the MTV soundtrack, right? Like, I'm not interested. Like, I like the show, but I will go pirate original versions that have that music in it, because I'm not interested in watching the versions that do not have that music in it. That as part of that show, you cannot just change the soundtrack. It's like, I don't know.
Supernatural used to have that issue. Like, I remember when it was on Netflix, there were people that I would talk to. They're like, "Oh, the music isn't very good in it." It's like, and then I rewatched. I was like, "What do you mean?" And then I watched it. I was like, "Oh, because."
They took out licensed
They took out all
songs.
the things. They finally, apparently, they worked on it, and they finally got them all on there, because I talked to somebody about it, and I was telling them how bummed I was about that years ago. Like, "Oh, no, they fixed that." I was like, "Oh, but I haven't gone back to find out."
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. It reminds me also, too, I just don't understand sometimes how I feel like a lot of times companies and artists and production studios or whatever, they just don't understand how important music is to stuff. Like, I complained to you, I don't think you've watched any of it, but like I for all the other problems that people have with the new Cowboy Bebop show, like, I don't think they're using Yoko Kanno's music correctly. Like, it's just in the background. And like in Cowboy Bebop, when the music comes up, like, there are songs that come up, they are front and fucking center. They are not like background music.
The other thing about anime soundtracks is that they're front and center, and they add so much to it. Like Space Dandy, a lot of the songs, they wouldn't be as impactful if they're in the background.
Yeah.
Same way, like you said, Cowboy Bebop. Same with Trigun.
Samurai Champloo. Like,
yeah, exactly. A lot of those are very much their soundtrack.
Yeah. So I don't understand how you could. I just don't understand. I mean, like, this is just, okay, listen, I'm just coming at
went
this
on a tangent pretty quickly.
Anime nerd style, but like, I don't understand how you could vandalize Yoko Kanno's work by putting it in the fucking background. Like, I would feel bad if I was mixing a scene that was using her work, like putting sound effects over it. Like, I don't know. I just love the soundtrack to Cowboy Bebop so much, and it's so important to that show.
It's so ingrained
that I don't understand why they use it that way.
I can't think of any. Oh, I guess another answer for his original question.
Yes.
I guess would be Bloodborne. Because of the Souls, I guess the Souls genre. I guess that's a genre at this point. Souls,
pretty much.
I could never get into the Dark Souls series, but I adored Bloodborne.
Yeah. Did you beat it?
No,
in the DLC.
I never did. I never got back to it. I meant to. I have all those things, but I never got back to it.
What about that? Did you see that? Did you want to watch the trailer for that Pinocchio game that looks exactly like Bloodborne?
It looked really cool, and I was like, "This sounds a lot of fun." I sent you that webcomic where it was called Frasier and Niles in Bloodborne.
Oh yeah,
and it was just like, what if Frasier and Niles were just randomly characters of Bloodborne? And it's amazing, guys. You should read it. It's really good. It does spoil the ending, the true ending, if you do it or if you read it. So yeah, but that game's pretty old at this point.
I will tell you right now, Michael. There was one phone game. I got into the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes phone game. And then I stopped, and I don't want to play it anymore. And to this day, what's weird about it is that I got a new phone like last year, the year before, or whatever. I bought a new phone, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I kind of like the Galaxy of Heroes games. Like, you just log in when you're on your lunch break and like tap 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 and get your daily rewards or whatever. And I don't mind not playing it because I could throw this phone into a swamp and I would give a shit. I don't care about my phone. And there is no way to reset your progress in that game.
Oh, really?
Like, especially because the Google Play app, when you open that game, badgers you until you connect that game to a Google account so it can keep your progress. But there's no button to reset your progress. Like, if you go today and like search for how do I reset my progress in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, they're like, just create a new Google account, bro, and then link it to a new Google account. And I'm just like, I didn't really want to play this game, or I wasn't that interested. So no.
Yeah, there were 3 phone games that I got into. 4 of them technically, but I lost the progress for one of them. One of them
Dracula, Blackula, and Son of Kong.
One of them was the Spider-Man game that was this runner game, and I ended up getting a new phone, and I lost all the progress to it.
Cool.
And I had all this progress. Like, I'm not doing this ever again. This Crash Bandicoot one that came out recently, that I also really like. That was also a runner. That I also lost all my progress to because I got a new phone. I didn't want to deal with it.
Is the third one a Dragon Ball game?
The other two were Dragon Ball games, yes. But they got so overly complicated and really difficult that became super pay to win.
Yeah.
That I was like, I can't in good conscience keep doing this. So they got way past the point where I was playing, so I just stopped playing them entirely.
Trying to think of any other genres. I've never I liked Trenched for a little bit, even though I'm not a big fan of tower defense. And then they changed the name to Iron Brigade, and I was like, go fuck yourself, Double Fine. You can get the hell out of here with that. Trenched was a way better name because they were literally mobile trenches. So I don't do tower defense. Survival, I'm not a big fan of. I'll play Minecraft, but I'm not interested in the billions of other survival games that are out there of just fucking plant crops and make a tent and shoot your neighbors. And I'm like, nope, not interested.
I can't think of anything that was actually an actual tower defense. The closest things were games that had them, sort of in there, where it's if this thing's gonna the Monster Hunter Rise, where it's the monster's coming. Make sure you have cannons and stuff ready to when they show up or something.
I guess Minecraft for survival. I mean, I
never got into
play
it.
Minecraft.
I tried. It was so long ago when I tried. Steve still had a goatee.
Wow, that is
I heard they removed that, so I was like, oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. I don't know. I never found a MOBA that I liked. I'll be honest, man. I've tried a lot of them.
I wanted to get into the DC MOBA when that first came out, but that didn't last very long.
Yeah. I wanted. I've pretty much settled at this point that I'm just going to play NetherRealm fighting games because I don't want to play Capcom fighting games anymore.
Oh, that's a shame.
And the rest of them are I'll play them for the show, right? But I'm not I will sit down and play a NetherRealm fighting game for hours and just fucking
they're great.
The Street Fighters and the King of Fighters and none of them are bad. It's just none of them catch my attention like the NetherRealm stuff
Guilty
does.
Gear is the only fighting game that I've never been able to pull off. I've tried desperately. I can never figure that shit out.
Even Persona Arena in Ultimax.
That game plays really easily, so that's an easy one to get into.
Okay.
Because that one plays very similarly to a lot of other. Because that's the thing is a lot of the games that are really popular that aren't just those specific ones. They're designed to be really easy to get into, like BlazBlue.
Okay.
This BlazBlue. I played a fighting game based on a light novel that Hilario had shown me years ago. That was really good, and they made a new one of it that's on the Switch. And that when he came over, we played that, and that was also really easy.
Is it another Arc System Works thing?
I don't know who made it. I forgot who made it, but it's really fucking good.
Did you ever play that Grand Blue Fantasy Versus?
Yeah, that game was great. Yeah.
I really liked that game a lot.
That game was hella fun, and fucking Dragon Ball Fighters is really good. That one's a lot of fun. That's another Arc System.
Dragon Ball Fighters will now just be always associated with Brian Salisbury having to play
that poor guy
play Dragon Ball Fighters versus somebody who knew what they were doing.
I went to that tournament and I did not have the option to play that game, and I was frustrated that he, of all people, Brian was the one that was like, "You want to play Dragon Ball Fighters?" And I was like, "I want to play it. Why don't you let me fight the guy?"
Yeah. I don't know. There's probably some other stuff out there. I mean, the thing is that, as I've always said,
I probably would have lost that tournament though. Yeah, if I had fought that guy. But I don't know. I don't know how good I would have been against whoever that was.
At the end of the day, I mean, all I really care about was whether a game is good. Well, no, that's not true. That is not true. That is categorically not true. I do not want to fight against other people. I do not want to be forced to play online with other people. If that is an option, I may take you up on it, but I do not want to play games that force you online to interact with other people because I just don't fucking want to do it. I don't want to interact with other people.
Is Xenoverse a games of service technically?
Maybe.
I don't really know
you
if it
would
is.
know more than I would.
Well, because I'm thinking about it, and it has a lot of that sort of MMO type thing, but you don't have to do any of that stuff, luckily. So I never do. So
yeah,
I ended up just doing all the story stuff. They came out with more story DLC for that, and I played all those already. So I think I'm done with the game again.
I think that's my end result. Is if you have to play it with other people, I don't want to do it. Outside of Joseph Ferris's games.
That makes sense.
I will play those with other people, co-op games, but I'm not interested. None of these games appeal to me. None of these online games appeal to me.
I think Left 4 Dead was the last series I really got into where it was you had to play with other people.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. I haven't gotten to any of those the Dead by Daylight type games.
Yep.
I haven't gotten to any of those.
There's a new expansion for that out this week.
Although apparently Ophonic is making a Ghostbusters game, so I may if that turns out good, that may end up becoming one of my new obsessions.
I do appreciate your loyalty to franchises, Michael, where you're just like, if you set a thing in a certain franchise that Michael is a fan of, he'll play it. It does not matter what the genre is or what it is. It'll be like, yep, I'm playing it all right. I'm gonna give it a shot.
Well,
like,
it mostly doesn't matter. There are games that have come out where I'm like, I'm just not going to do that.
Yeah.
But it's very rare for me to not do it.
I refuse to play that Hitman game on the phones, even though it's very well received. And I'm just like,
the only reason I played that Dragon Ball card game thing that we did was because we played it on the show.
Wait! We were almost out. Michael, there is an online multiplayer game that I got into after Overwatch and that I played obsessively for a good amount of time. And it was Mobile Suit Gundam fucking versus...
Oh, the Operation.
Gundam Operations, yeah. Versus like Battle Operation 2. Yeah, like I was really into it. Super fucking into it.
It's really good.
Super fucking into it.
We were both really into it for a while, and then we just... One day we stopped, and it's because I needed space on my PlayStation to get something else.
I need to go back to the Code Fairy. The second 5 episodes of that came out. And
I thought about re-downloading Operation and seeing where it is now.
Yeah.
To see if maybe I can get back into it.
It's kind of funky. I did it because they put out like a PS5 version of it.
Yeah.
I did for a little while. It's kind of funky. You got to get your chops back up. You should play that Code Fairy game to get your chops back up and then go online. Yeah. So, all right. That's it. Big long podcast full of podcast. Michael, tell them all about it. Tell them about it.
You can find me on oneofus.net. We do a lot of movie and television reviews. I'm going to be watching some stuff very soon that I'm very excited to review.
Cool.
I'm excited for that one. So we'll see how that goes.
All right.
I will have watched it once this comes out.
If you made it all the way to the end and you're a super fan of Rage Select, mail@rageselect.com is the email just send your thing into. You're going to have a lot to talk about over the next few weeks.
Yeah.
JoJo's came out. Fucking It's Always Sunny is starting back up. Got Demon Slayer Season 2. Fucking Hawkeye is pretty damn good so far.
It's really good.
Like, whew, so many things. But if you take anything from this podcast, it should be that don't listen to Michael. Go watch Venom 2. Go watch Venom 2. It's fine. It's fine. It's just fucking fine, okay?